tendencies or against another player that you know you can pick on. It's very different calling plays against a foreign entity or against another team that you haven't really scouted. So it would speed up the learning curve tremendously. But just like I said, unfortunately, I think coaches are too scared. Their egos are too
Is
fragile.
it I think coaches would love it.
They say that. I don't think they would because they don't want to be outed. They don't want to be exposed for maybe having a weakness early in the season. For us, talking heads to start putting people on the hot seats in the spring because South Carolina only beat Coastal by 20 in the spring game or something silly like that. I've seen this too many. Coaches have very fragile egos. It'll start off as we're working on some things, and those scrimmages they have to be in conjunction and have to be of the right spirit for them to be beneficial. They can be, but I've seen it go
It would
sideways.
be interesting to see how teams scheduled.
Yes.
Because again, we'll get into this a little bit. 803-404-6100 is how you can weigh in this morning if you want to join us on the Firehouse Subtext line. Again, Tony Annan set to join us at about 6:40, 6:45-ish this morning. We'll get into, again, his teams because you're right. It's soccer, and I'm not putting them down, but I don't think anybody's paying attention. They had a great the way they won 3-0 in soccer is kind of a blowout. And Tony's team hadn't really gone around blowing out a lot of teams, but you can tell they're progressing, and I think they're going to be really, really good in 2023. But we'll get into that with him a little bit. Again, we'll also talk about the sacking of Antonio Conte in the Premier League for Preston's Spurs, Tottenham
very
Spurs.
Spursy.
Very Spursy. So, yeah, we'll get into that a little bit this morning. We will also have Brian Edwards on from Vegas Insider to talk about the Final Four and maybe even see if he wants to weigh in on the women's game, South Carolina and Iowa on Friday night. And then, of course, Kerry Tharp has got to make his projections this morning. He's got to talk a little NASCAR. We've got quite the race, folks. You see, I left my sheet out there in the hallway, but we're all right there in it. I think you and I are tied for first place. Reggie Anderson's about a point behind us. Jen last week picked up a bunch of points and made herself more relevant in this thing. We've got a lot going on early on, a very exciting Corley Pool Solutions checker flag challenge going on. That trophy is bringing out the best in everybody. Would you agree on that, Jen? The trophy, now that we actually have a trophy out there that somebody will get to take home and put their name on, we've got, it feels kind of special.
It's extremely special, and I think it will be fun when my name goes on it this year.
One other thing today, and we'll have to take a picture of Jen. Have you seen Jen? Have you really looked at Jen today?
See, she did it right. She did it right. We're wrong. She's right.
Well, I don't have a team.
I
don't have a true team. Like I like the Yankees. Went to a lot of games when I was up there in New York. I grew up going to Braves games. I went to the Braves dugout. I got pictures with myself and Tom Glavine and John Smoltz and Ron Gant. Like I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not a Braves fan, but today is opening day, Major League Baseball, and you and I will get into this as well. I don't feel like it's being promoted.
No, not nearly as well.
I don't. Does anybody understand why? Are we missing this? Are the three of us, 803-404-6100, are we missing it? We'll get into this. There's a lot to do today. It's opening day. We're a week away from the Masters, too, by the way. 803-404-6100. You're listening to Preston Thorne. I'm Bill Gunner. She's Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
The tournament is heating up, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. That's because right now, FanDuel is giving new customers a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Just go to FanDuel.com/win and sign up today to claim your no-sweat first bet. Then you can wager on everything from the point spreads to which team will be cutting down the net. All on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use.
Must be present in state where lawful to wager. 21 plus in select states. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable sportsbook bonus bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. FanDuel is offering sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino LLC. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG. Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Tennessee, Virginia. 1-800-NEXT STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342 Arizona. 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. 1-800-522-4700 or visit KSGamblingHelp.com Kansas. 1-877-770 stop Louisiana. Visit MDGamblingHelp.org in Maryland. 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. 1-800-522-4700 Wyoming or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net West Virginia.
I don't have my weather report right in front of me. I'm not even going to lie. I just know this morning felt better. this afternoon will feel really good. It's almost air conditioning time in South Carolina because spring is about a week and a half type deal where you get that temperatures where you don't have to have your heating and air units on. But we all know what's coming down the pipe. The famously hot summers of Columbia lead you to needing a famously reliable heating and air unit because air conditioning, very important here in Columbia, South Carolina. And AAA Heating and Air is ready to take care of you. Contact them today. 803-677-1500. Maybe you just need maintenance. Maybe that's all you need. The trained, experienced technicians of AAA Heating and Air coming out to your house, making sure that everything's in proper working order, that all the coils are working properly, everything is doing the job it needs to do. Maybe that's all you need. Or maybe you're in the market for a brand new heating and air unit, just like I was about a month ago when AAA Heating and Air came out, did a absolutely fantastic job from installation to cleanup to explanation of how this new heating and air unit would save me money through my electric bill. AAA Heating and Air did the best job I've ever seen, and I'm glad that they were there to take care of it. And I'm thrilled actually, that I have a 15-year parts and labor warranty through AAA Heating and Air. I can have peace of mind tonight knowing if something goes wrong, they're there to take care of me. Contact AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. AAA Heating and Air guarantees financing, and they will offer you a $1,500 rebate to buy back your old unit. And again, they have a 15-year parts and labor warranty. Contact them today, 803-677-1500. That's AAA Heating and Air. Contact them today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
107.5 The Game On Demand podcast menu. Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better sooner. On the home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. For your guaranteed biggest refund and 50% off tax prep, switch to Jackson Hewitt. 50% off is a limited time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
Let's text and title with approved credit call 866-243-4623 for details. JT's got the best financing offer available. 0% financing for 72 months at JT's Jeep Dodge Ram. And as incredible as that seems, JT is still slashing prices. Up to $5,000 off on Wranglers, up to $11,000 off on Rams. Drive a Ram for just $349 a month. You will never be able to finance lower than 0%. And JT's got it right now. Rush to JT's Jeep Dodge Ram, 378 Lexington. JT'sJeep.com Jeep Celebration Event.
Shop hot deals at Academy Sports and Outdoors. Take up to 40% off Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour shoes. Get 20% off select bikes for the family. And get up to 25% off Adidas and Under Armour clothing. Get great brands at the best prices. Deals end April 2nd. Exclusions and restrictions apply. See academy.com/disclaimers for details.
The Eagles Hotel California Tour.
Welcome to the Hotel California.
Live in concert with a full orchestra.
Take it.
Performing their iconic album, Hotel California, beginning to end, plus a greatest hit set. The Eagles. Colonial Life Arena, Columbia, March 30th. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game. A good Thursday morning, everyone. Let's take a look at that first alert traffic update. We are still early on here and haven't seen anything with main changes. Of course, around the region, as we're rolling on forward, we'll make sure to keep you posted any confirmed collisions or even stalled out vehicles that are causing problems for your day. Make it safe on those travels, and of course, keep listening along here. This has been a WIS First Alert Traffic Update. I'm meteorologist Tony Chivaroli.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Shen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Not real sure where to go right off the bat because I am kind of stuck on this Major League Baseball thing about it either not being promoted or we missing it, because Preston, you and I brought this up yesterday. I think we did it off air. Normally ESPN does a big like all day long kind of baseball celebration. Normally you've got a 1 o'clock, like Baltimore and Boston play at 2:10 today. The Braves and Washington play at 1:05. Normally ESPN, and I don't know if maybe I've missed it. I haven't been able to find anything that's very that describes what exactly is going on. But normally you have ESPN with an all day lineup of baseball, and today you just have one game, the White Sox and the Astros tonight at 7 o'clock to kind of kick off baseball season. But you've got everybody in action today.
Yeah, and they're missing the boat on this because my marketing mind just went to work, and I was thinking of all types of commercials that they can do with the new pitch clock. You know, they can have some of the major league players doing mundane tasks on a clock. So if you had Mike Trout washing the dishes, looking at it at the clock, seeing if he can finish washing the dishes before the
I like
clock
that.
is up, or maybe you have Jazz Chisholm from the Marlins unload the dishwasher in 30 seconds before the clock goes up. There's all types of changes that are happening in baseball, which are tremendous things that baseball did a great job of getting in front of the crowd, initiating changes, making the game faster, hopefully correcting some of the problems that we said we all had. And it doesn't seem like they're promoting it at all.
Truthfully, that's been my biggest complaint about Major League Baseball. And I think, we all talk about, oh, it's a dying sport and people don't watch. I don't know how true that is about it being a truly dying sport, if you will. But I mean, the numbers are down in certain areas. There are places though where the numbers are specifically up. Like, a lot of places, if you look at the Boston numbers and the Boston market, they stay consistent. Pittsburgh, even like our buddy Anthony on our live stream, who I think he's on there now, is a big Pirates fan. Pittsburgh still, even with their bad team,
Yeah, they're back to being bad again.
they have genuinely good and generally good baseball numbers, but I don't quite understand. It's almost like Major League Baseball. Now, some of this falls on ESPN too, but generally speaking, their numbers are the numbers are good, but they don't do a good job of, like, if Mike Trout walked into this room with two other people, I would have a 33.3% chance of picking out Mike Trout. If he walked in with three people that were his size, if he walks in with two other people that are my size, I'd be like, oh,
You'd be like, the Garden Trust brought in the linebacker for the day.
Yeah.
Who's this guy?
Stone Blanton's
here, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, like that's exactly what I would think. But I think that's the biggest problem from baseball is that you don't know. And this is a sport where your face is not covered by your mask or shield or whatever, except for the catcher. This is baseball's biggest problem. And I mean, there's probably a lot of people, I think, on our live stream. Robin even said the only way she knew it was live opening day was because it was a question on a crossword puzzle, which kudos to you, Robin, for getting up which bright and early to do a crossword puzzle.
Which may indicate baseball's issue with their audience. Their audience does crossword puzzles.
There was somebody up there that's like 87 years old. I got an idea.
We'll go put it in a crossword puzzle.
I got the plan here. I'll look more. Maybe Fox is carrying some more games that I'm unaware of.
It's interesting because, like I said, they have the pitch clock coming in, which I think is a tremendous wrinkle to the game. There's new blood. They made the bases bigger. They eliminated the shift. There's seismic changes that are happening in baseball, and even I was just listening. I was watching ESPN, and they said actually during spring training, the length of the game has gone back to 2.5 hours. It was creeping up to 3.5, 4 hours as far as to a individual baseball game. The advent of the clock, the implementation of the clock has gotten the game length back down to 2.5 hours, which is reasonable for a sports fan. You can sit there and you can handle 2.5 hours, or even in person. That's an investment you can make. So they seem like they're doing all the right things, but then, Bill, to your point, who is playing?
I'm just looking at it. It looks like at 105 today, the MLB Network has got the Giants and the Yankees, and obviously that would take you to 4 o'clock, which it looks like MLB Network is got Phillies Rangers. I'm pretty certain that I've got. Actually, I know for a fact that I've got MLB Network on YouTube TV, but I'm still very surprised, and maybe it's just a new contract agreement or whatever. But it kind of goes back to. I'm kind of a little blown away by the lack of promotion of opening day, or because I'm not going to pretend to anybody that by mid-April I'm into Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball is a very odd sport to watch because there's 162 games, and it by mid-May, June, July, unless you're just a true fan, or you're probably like me, you just have it on as background noise as you're sitting outside in the afternoon. It's there, and then it picks back up around the end of August when you get into the playoff push, and the playoffs are great. I love the playoffs, but opening day should be a celebrated almost a national holiday. And here's why: because I use it as almost another sign that spring and summer are here.
Yeah, 100%. And with the spring, everybody has this hopeful approach towards what the season is going to end up being, and there's probably not a worse sport to be bad in than baseball because it's long, it's slow, it's a slog. And so if your team is bad in May, you have a long year to go. So opening day, everybody's hopeful.
Yeah.
We're excited. The team's we'll see how we all have an opportunity. And your best pitchers on the mound, you got your new uniforms, all the cool things. And they are doing themselves a disservice. It seems like this is some calculation that some dork made by looking at the spreadsheet and like, oh, we probably shouldn't put too much money in here because of the whatever. And it doesn't. This is a case where they need to be advertising it more for people to be aware of it.
Yeah, I mean, you've got great pitchers. Max Fried for the Braves today against Patrick Corbin. Braves again at Nationals 105 today. Obviously, Garrett Cole for the Yankees is throwing, and that game will be on Major League Baseball Network against San Francisco at 105 today. Corey Kluber throwing for Boston today. Jens Cubs has Marcus Stroman throwing today as Milwaukee and Chicago get going there. Just an odd. This should be a day, honestly, if you have a child. Travel baseball is a wild thing. Travel baseball is.
I can't wait for this. I can't wait for us to do that show.
On travel baseball?
On all of it.
Okay. All right. We'll try and save you. But the reason I'm saying is my love for the opening day of the NCAA tournament where I would miss school and stuff. I would understand if you've got a son or daughter that's completely into Major League Baseball and you're like, all right, we're going to take today off, and we're going to take today off and allow you to, watch baseball all day long because you love baseball and there's games all day. 803-404-6100. I see Tony Annan walking in studio, and I know Gamecock Larry is already thinking that I'm just trying to keep him on hold.
He already said you can. I'll wait him.
I had a plan. I was going to let Coach Annan has never gotten the joy of having a conversation with Tony Annan. We're gonna fully indoctrinate Tony Annan this morning into the program by having him take a phone call from Gamecock Larry. We've never done that. That should produce some kind of content for Friday, I think. 803-404-6100 up next. Tony Annan and Gamecock Larry on the same phone lines.
The battle royale.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what this show is capable of doing. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
gotta take?
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line.
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
803-404-6100.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
1075 The Game.
By now, you know that sound. It's the sound of the Home Depot. But what about those sounds? Those are the sounds of your spring cleaning with a new laundry set featuring large capacity and innovations to make laundry day quicker and more efficient, making this the sound of savings on top brand appliances. Bring on spring with savings on select laundry appliances in-store and online at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Like any good agent, we're here for the open house, for the closing, for handing over keys. But because we're realtors, we're here for so much more. Agents who are realtors volunteer at nearly 3 times the national average, working to broaden access to credit, increase affordable housing supply, and ensure fair housing. Realtors are bound by a code of ethics. We're here for it all. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
JT's got it. 0% financing for 72 months at Dodgeland. You don't pay any interest on the money you borrow for 6 years. Come to Dodgeland and pick out a new Charger, Challenger, Durango, or Ram. And while JT has slashed the interest to 0%, he's also slashing prices, like up to $11,000 off on a Ram. Drive for just $349 a month. Rush to Dodgeland on Greystone for 0% financing for 72 months. JT'sDodge.com. Ram truck.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
On Monday, the Texans added 2 more offensive pieces in free agency, signing NFL.com's top available tight end and the Bills' lead rusher from last season. NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero reporting former Cowboy Dalton Schultz is signing a 1-year deal worth up to $9 million. The Texans also signing former Bills running back Devin Singletary to a 1-year deal worth up to $3.8 million. According to NFL Network insider Raph also reporting the Bills are vacancy at running back by signing former Patriots back Daniel Harris. And Cam Newton will be back at quarterback on Tuesday. The former Panthers quarterback and 2015 MVP announced on social media he will be throwing at Auburn's Pro Day. Newton last played for the Panthers in 2021, but appears ready to resume his NFL career. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Like any good agent, we're here for the open house, for the closing, for handing over keys. But because we're realtors, we're here for so much more. Agents who are realtors volunteer at nearly 3 times the national average. We're working to broaden access to credit, increase affordable housing supply, and ensure fair housing for all. Realtors are bound by a code of ethics. We're here for it all. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
Online at CordellCordell.com. 1201 Main Street, Suite 340, Columbia, South Carolina, 29201. Scott Trout, licensed in Missouri, Illinois, and Georgia only.
If you're thinking about retiring soon, be sure to tune in to Save Your Retirement with Pat Struby, a preservation specialist, Sunday mornings at 10. Join Pat as he talks about the latest trends and headlines that could impact your retirement. Listen Sunday mornings at 10 to Save Your Retirement with Pat Struby. Securities offered through Arcadios Capital Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Arcadios Wealth. Preservation specialists and Arcadios are not affiliated through any ownership.
As I blow each one of you a kiss. A 1, a 2, a 3.
Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WISTV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
A good Thursday morning, everyone. Let's take a look at that first alert traffic update. We are still early on here and haven't seen anything with main changes, of course, around the region. As we're rolling on forward, we'll make sure to keep you posted any confirmed collisions or even stalled out vehicles that are causing problems for your day. Make it safe on those travels, and of course, keep listening along here. This has been a WIS First Alert Traffic Update. I'm meteorologist Tony Chivaroli.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
Hey, welcome back. We're going to the phone lines. Gamecock, Larry, are you there?
Hello.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. How are you, sir?
You remember me?
Tony?
There you go. That's what I like to hear. You got it right.
Coach Tony, this old Gamecock Larry, I don't know anything about soccer, but listen to you on the radio. But you're a Gamecock, I'm a Gamecock, so therefore we're on the same page.
Nothing but love for you.
Okay, and Bill, you don't listen to Bill and Preston. These young men don't know nothing. They won't know Gamecock sports history. Just tell them to call old Gamecock Larry, because you don't have to listen to them. They think they know it all, but they don't. If it wasn't for Jim, they couldn't even have a good program in the morning. Now, I'm being honest with you. I know this is going to make Bill a person mad. I can hear him gritting the teeth now.
Awful way to start the program.
Bill messed me up yesterday. Now, my nephews, Mark Blanchard and Larry Travis got together with some of their boys, some of their men, and they was going to send me out to Dallas, Texas. And Bill told me I shouldn't go. I was too old. I couldn't do this, couldn't do that. So I turned him down. I didn't go. And I found out that they had me, what do you call them? They had me a male chaperone nurse was going to go on there with me. He was going to take care of everything. All I had to do was sit in my wheelchair. That's all. And I turned it down. But that's okay. I'll just sit back here. I don't know what oh, Lord, I'm getting mixed up now. I'm not playing Coach Tony. I'm almost 89. I'm getting old. I can't get my brain, my mouth, and my thinking calibrated.
So you're a gunter.
It's unfair. You just insulted a lot more people than me. My daughter last night sent me a text message at 9 o'clock that she has all A's.
Oh, wow.
Okay. But Coach Hammond, I don't know whether I want to get the Gamecock Nation up, but I'm glad you're here. You're another coach. As we get in here, we got in here, down and all, and we go. And Coach Tyler has got this Gamecock sport thing lined up, and we're going to be good. But the only thing, I just hope old Gamecock Larry reminds me to watch at least 10 or 15 more years. Because I've seen some good times and bad times. But I tell you, I love my Gamecocks. Once a Gamecock, always a Gamecock. I remember when I was about 2 years old, my daddy said, you got to pick one, son, which one you pick. And I didn't like the look of that tiger, so I picked the Gamecock, that good-looking red island rooster. I picked the Gamecock. and I've been a Gamecock ever since. Coach Tony, go ahead, take your team to the championship, and Gamecock will ever be sitting back here listening to you. I can't travel, so I'll just sit here in my recliner and listen to you on the radio, pull for you 100%, and I just want to let Gamecock Nation, even Bill and Preston, all of them, I love y'all, and I will always be a Gamecock. I love you. Take care and go Gamecock. Thank you, sir.
There you go, Gamecock. I think we drew him off a tad with you. I think surprised. We caught him a tad off guard there to start the.
I think he thought he called the wrong number.
Yeah, he was all of a sudden. He was like, "Oh, did I call Coach Ammon's cell phone number?"
1075 the game. What's your
A
name?
proper English breakfast.
What about it?
Give me the
Yeah.
ingredients.
Good. How are you doing?
The debate about this is all over the place, but I'm going to give you what I think is a proper English breakfast.
Here we go.
Baked beans, fried eggs,
Yeah, we do.
sausage, legs, not round.
Yeah, we do.
Bacon.
Yep, you too.
Proper
Thank
bacon,
you.
not your little crispy.
No, that
fizzle
bacon.
bits.
I think that when you mentioned this, that's a different style of bacon too.
Yes, it's my mother is very aggrieved at what bacon looks like in this country. You could have mushrooms on it, but it's not my cup of tea. Bacon, sausage, beans, eggs, and some sort of potato or there's black pudding too. So you have black pudding on a good English.
Y'all,
breakfast as well.
if that's breakfast, nobody eats again until dinner, right?
Correct. Well,
I was gonna say.
I would say if it was my fault, I'd be eating again in a couple of hours. But for me, if I have a full English, the next meal is dinner time.
It's dinner time, yeah.
Or what we would call tea time.
Preston was very impressed with all of this yesterday. The beans thing. Now because we had Toby Edwards from the Carolina Cup back on yesterday. We were talking about tailgating for the Carolina Cup, and we talked about that. But he was specific in that the beans. He said Heinz beans,
baked beans, yeah,
which are different than I guess the American style of baked beans.
Bean here is like a smoky barbecue. Heinz is like a sweet, tangy sauce, like a tomato sauce bean.
Okay.
We actually just had this argument in the office today about why should beans, the two American guys, British guys, why should beans be on a breakfast?
That's not right. See, they shouldn't be able to tell you all what your breakfast is.
You haven't met our two American assistants, have you?
Well, that is kind of typical American. Let me tell you what your breakfast should be like.
Yeah, we do think we have the best. So no grits involved.
Not a chance. Nowhere near the plate.
No.
Grits, I didn't even know what grits were till I
was gonna say if we took grits over to England, how would that be received?
Poorly. I've never met a Brit yet who wants grits. Like whenever an option, they're like, no. Can I change those for toast or?
Well, I didn't even know what to do with them. So when I first moved down here from Illinois, I was like, oh, this must be like cream of wheat or something. So I put some sugar on them.
Oh.
Yeah, that was not smart because it was like, no, what did I do? But nobody warned me. I didn't
My
know what
mother
they
calls
were.
it gruel.
Gruel. That's funny.
They wouldn't serve this in prisons.
Oh.
803-4.
Just offended too many Southerners in that one state.
Yeah.
Mm.
Everybody's taking now. Jen's offending me, and then you guys are taking down all Southerners. 803-404-6100. We'll get to Antonio Conte coming up in the next segment, but let's talk about your ball club for just a second. 3-0 on Saturday afternoon over you in Nashville. Saying it out loud sounds very impressive. How did you feel about your club's performance?
Spring's tough. Like we played two pro teams, right? Back to back, and we kind of got a little bit of a rhythm, bit of confidence. And then we didn't play again for 3-4 weeks, which is really hard for a team because you get no rhythm, consistency in everything you do. So first half was rough. First half we were a little bit stop-start. We gave the ball away a lot. We didn't really create as much as. But we changed a few things at half-time, kind of kept everything pretty calm. And second half we went out and played some good stuff, scored some great goals, and even had some guys that have been, what I would say, on the fringe or not performed where we thought they would. They came through in the second half and played. And so it was real positive. And obviously to score 3 goals is great because it's what we struggled to do last year. So, yeah, very pleased with it.
We'll get more into that. We'll talk about Antonio Conte coming up. Preston needs a lot of information from you. What direction is his Spurs going?
I think I'm gonna go very hard on this coaching search.
Okay, yeah.
So I need some direction.
Preston's all in. We'll get to that. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen, and head soccer coach Tommy Ammons here on the early game. 107.5 The Game.
Have you missed any of the early game? You can catch up by going to the early game on demand page at 1075thegame.com or by downloading our 1075 The Game app on iTunes or Google Play.
Sponsored by Express Employment Professionals. Stop going it alone for recruiting and staffing. Choose a local expert. Hiring is about getting to know people, algorithms, so let the team at Express Employment Professionals hire for you. Visit expresspros.com to find the office near you.
Sponsored by Northern Tool and Equipment. Now that you've taken on the big job doesn't mean you have to settle for big box. Northern Tool can help with the little things that make the biggest difference, from pressure washers to power tools and pallet jacks to push kites. They have what you need to get the job done. Northern Tool and Equipment, we're made for this.
Progressive presents an ad from Mom.
What does it say here? Bundle your home and auto insurance with Progressive and get protection round the clock. You know what? I'm sorry. I think it should be around. What are you signaling? Me to stop talking? Oh, all right. I'll stop talking. No, just had to tell me. That's all you had
Get
to do.
round-the-clock protection when you bundle and save with Progressive. It's easier than getting your mom to make this radio ad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Heath here with the mortgage guru, Jacob Crowder from First Palmetto Bank. And if the new year has you building or buying a new home, you need a guru in this market. First Palmetto Bank is owned and operated here in the Midlands, and Jacob has local decision makers, which means quick and precise processing and underwriting. If you're looking to make a move, give Jacob a call, 803-719-1005, or email him at jcrowder@firstpalmetto.com.
Thanks, Heath. Interest rates have stabilized. The local housing market also has stabilized. Now is a good time to buy a house. At First Palmetto, we have products that help homebuyers keep payments down. Also, if you are considering building your future home, please ask me about our no-nonsense construction loans. The new year brings change, and if I can help you, please give me a call, 803-719-1005.
So to follow up, rates in the housing market are stable, which makes now a good time to buy.
I'd say that sums it up.
Great. Call Jacob Crowder today, 803-719-1005.
My NMLS number is 198432. First Palmetto Bank is a member of FDIC and any closet lender.
I'm proud to work for Volvo Cars because we're helping build a safer, more sustainable future for everyone. My name is Tamara Thompson. I'm from South Carolina, born and raised in Sumter. I'm a quality launch supervisor at the Volvo Cars plant in Ridgeville. I'm helping build the new Volvo EX90 here. At Volvo Cars, people are at the center. We feel supported, recognized, and feel like we're careers. And we're hiring. Apply now at readysc.org/Volvo.
No manufacturing experience required. Must be 18 years or older with a high school diploma or GED.
Shop hot deals at Academy Sports and Outdoors. Take up to 40% off Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour shoes. Get 20% off select bikes for the family. And get up to 25% off Adidas and Under Armour clothing. Get great brands at the best prices. Deals end April 2nd. Exclusions and restrictions apply. See academy.com/disclaimers for details.
What's up, Gamecock Nation? This is Spencer Rattler, here to tell you about the best South Carolina coverage out there at GamecockCentral.com. For a limited time, you can become a member, get access to all USC sports and recruiting information you want for a special deal. Head over to GamecockCentral.com now to become an insider and join the family.
Sponsored by Total Wine and More. Always find what you love at Total Wine and More. With so many bottles to choose from at the lowest prices, it's easy to find your favorite Cabernet or a new single barrel bourbon to try. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love and love what you find at Total Wine and More. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey, good Thursday morning, everyone. Let's take a look at that First Alert traffic update. We are still early on here and haven't seen anything with main changes, of course, around the region. As we're rolling on forward, we'll make sure to keep you posted. Any confirmed collisions or even stalled out vehicles that are causing problems for your day. Make it safe on those travels. And of course, keep listening along here. This has been a WIS update. I'm meteorologist Tony Chivaroli.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon certified certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
What do you got? You know that one?
No. You stumped me.
Preston, correct me. I'm thinking Naughty by Nature, Feel Me Flow.
That's correct.
Yeah, okay.
Ding, 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 ding.
Don't you have the screen in front of you? Oh, no, it's still not working.
Technically, actually, it is. It's to my right. I only look there when we're at the top of the hour, though.
Then well done.
Now, but yes, I actually could have looked right there and seen. Oh, I am right. 803-404-6100 is how you can weigh in this morning. Tony Annan in with us, or as we now am referring to him as Tommy Ammons. Just to make sure we're all on the same page. 803-404-6100. Preston, fire away. Your Spurs, your Tottenham Hotspurs need a new manager. By the way, why do they call it over there? We were debating this. Over here we say fired, but they actually mutually parted ways, right? Like Conte and Tottenham. But over there, when a soccer coach gets let go, he got sacked. Here he got fired. Why is it sacked? Is there a
good question? And it's one that I cannot answer. Sacked is the word that is used in the UK for getting fired.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've never heard fired used as much as I have here. Sacked is definitely the word in soccer in the UK.
Okay. Preston, fire away. What do you got over there?
All right. With this new coaching search, where is my beloved Tottenham? Where are we going to be pointing our focus on? Do we have a couple of candidates in mind? Who do I need to be looking up? What styles do we need to be playing? I'm all in on this.
Well, in the same week, the Bayern Munich coach got fired for absolutely who knows the reason why.
Okay.
He's in the final 8 of the Champions League. He's unbeaten in 8 games in the Champions League, and they turn around and they fire him just abruptly, with no rumours, nothing. And they hire Tuchel, the old Chelsea coach, a day later. So it was almost like it was a done deal. Mm-hmm. So he's now available, Nilsman, which very good, young guy, but very good coach.
Yep.
And I think he's talking to Spurs at the moment.
Okay. Let me ask this. What do we need? What do we as the Tottenham Spurs, what do we need? You know how we bring these coaching staffs? You know, is there a coach out there that's going to bring some hope to us? Or do we need a disciplinarian? Do we need a guy who's more effective on? What do we need?
I don't think I would offend Spurs fans when I say you've tried everything. Like you've had 2 masters of the game, very opposite ends of the spectrum, right? Mourinho, defensively, counter-attack guy who is a genius, who's been fantastic. You had Pochettino before him, who very highly regarded, very entertaining soccer teams that he coaches. And then you have good morning. Just got rid of Conte, who's a high press guy with energy, and so you've tried everything. I just don't know who takes this. And like Son came out yesterday and said he feels responsible that he didn't work hard enough for Conte, and that's typical Son.
He's an honourable man.
Yeah,
right?
very. And he's like, I feel bad that he got fired or that he got sacked. But I don't know. I think the whole thing needs an overhaul. Even though you're in 4th place and nobody can sort of argue with that, there's just something not right within that club, and I think it's from the top down.
Gotcha.
But I was gonna say it's similar to say what we see with almost like the New York Jets at times, franchises that can't seem to get out of their own way, right? Like, I mean,
but the Jets are terrible. Though. Tottenham's not.
But they've been to. But I don't know. You say that the Jets have been to the AFC Championship game before. I mean, they were on the cusp of getting to the. They had a good franchise, or they had a good team, and then things blew up. We've seen that before. There's no reason, right, that the Detroit Lions should be the way that they are in professional football when you have money. Coach, you've done professional sports. Why is it sometimes franchises professionally can't get out of their – is it as simple as saying the owner is too egotistical and wants to run anything? We're seeing this kind of, Preston, with the – what are we calling them now?
Commanders.
With the Commanders. Thank you. You knew exactly where I was going with that.
I think the Cowboys are a big example of it. with Jerry Jones. I think they've never really done what they should have done in the last probably
20 years.
20 years. I mean, I know people love to hate the Cowboys, but that is a franchise that is, I think, and I'm not a huge American football fan, but I just look at them and think they are very Spursy. They get there, they're really there, they get everyone excited, and Jerry's always in the middle of it, right?
True.
Daniel Levy is known to be a very, very number one tight guy with the business sense and money and all that, but he's very involved, right? And I see that being very similar to the Cowboys, and it's like they should be achieving great things. Spurs in the past have been an amazing club, and they still are. They're in fourth place. Don't get me wrong, but they should be right up there. But they just don't spend the money to keep up with the guys, and there's something wrong culturally in that club that prevents them just breaking through.
Do you see that? Do you see that in professional sports here, where you see? Is there one franchise you look at that he's good? He's good with the Cowboys there, but the Cowboys did. I guess I don't know if Tottenham's won championships, because I guess the Cowboys were dominant in the '90s with Jimmy Johnson.
Tottenham's won European Cups.
Have they?
They've won big trophies in the past.
And is this a new owner that they've got? Relatively new, within the last 25 years?
Honestly, I don't know the answer to that question. I would say yes.
Okay.
But I'm not entirely sure, so I shouldn't say that.
So give Preston hope. You said you need hope. You're in charge of keeping Preston involved and giving him hope.
I think they need to buy a couple of players this summer, and they need to get a manager who can have some more control and turn it around. It just seems like every manager they've tried in the last 5 years has just not been able to quite get the group on the same page. So I think maybe there's some personnel issues too, where you've got to be a very good manager of egos. And Conte has proven that he has, but he just couldn't do it here.
What I'm hearing, Preston, is they just got the guy who could do it.
It sounds like
it's.
But he wanted to go. It's obvious he wanted to go.
It kind of went back to when Steve Spurrier came to South Carolina. I was like, well, if he can't do it, I don't know who else can do it. I really don't know. 803-404-6100. Coming up in the next segment, I actually want to get into something that I think Preston wanted to get into a little bit the other day. Gio Reyna back with the United States team. They win the other night, and a good match for them. They win, but get your take on that. So I want to get to that here in just a second, but I want to go back to your club now as you get ready. Saturday, 1 o'clock, East Tennessee State.
3.
So I'm sorry, 3 o'clock. Yeah, it's the first. The game is on sorry about that. April 1st at 3 o'clock. Free admission. You can go. What are you looking for your guys now to take the next step coming off of that contest last week?
Yeah, East Tennessee will be a tougher opponent. They'll be a much more, I think, aggressive team and a better team all around. So, again, looking for consistency, looking for individual performances, and just looking to keep stepping forward with every time we take the field. So, the expectations for me are not so grand because we're in spring, but they're important, like I've said before, that we try and get that momentum now before we go into our summer break.
We'll continue talking about that, get into personnel things, because you talked about some guys stepping forward, get some updates on some of your guys, and we'll also get your thoughts on Dawn Staley's team as they head off to the Final Four. Just the opportunities you've had to kind of see how she runs her program and maybe a few things you've taken away from that. And again, I want to get back into the United States victory Tuesday night, I believe, Monday or Tuesday night. I can't remember exactly which. I think it was Monday night. They start qualifying there. But I want to get into that Gio Reyna thing. Preston, I think, had some strong feelings on that as well. We mentioned it off air the other day, and you got a little fired up. So we'll get into that. A lot to do this morning. Coach Tony Annan in with us. We'll continue on with him, and we'll get into a few other things with Preston. Kerry Tharp coming up at 8:40 this morning as well. You're listening to the early game, 107.5 The Game.
WNKFM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Gamecock quarterback Spencer Rattler, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game, the home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
We'll continue talking about that, get into a few more personnel things, because you talked about some guys stepping forward, get some updates on some of your guys. We'll also get your thoughts on Dawn Staley's team as they head off to the Final Four. The opportunities you've had to kind of see how she runs her program and maybe a few things you've taken away from that. And again, I want to get back into
now is that we established but if they find
Continue
themselves
talking.
being turned down, JT wants to help, and he has the power to say you're approved. Taking prices on Jeeps right now up to $7,500 off. Rams up to $11,000 off. You can drive for just $349 a month and help your credit. JT's Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, 378 Lexus. JT's
Jim Jensen, and head soccer coach Tommy Hammond.
Rose knows how to get your lawn ready for spring. And right now, you can take up to $10 off select Scott's fertilizers. Plus, you can save $50 on the Craftsman 20-volt 13-inch string trimmer and leaf blower combo kit. Now just $99. Get set for spring. Visit us in-store or online today because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 3/23 through 4/5. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's $7,500 sign-on bonuses, increased pay, and great employee benefits available. Start your new year off with a new career. Visit joinscdc.com to apply today or call 803-734-JOBS for more information.
It's time to contact AAA Heating and Air and tell them Bill Gunner sent you. That's right. 803-677-1500. If you're in need of repairs or maintenance to your heating and air system, contact AAA Heating and Air today. Again, 803-677-1500. You know you are putting comfort in your own hands with qualified technicians from AAA Heating and Air. So don't wait any longer. Contact them today. 803-677-1500. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air. I'm proud to work for Volvo Cars because we're helping build a safer, more sustainable future for everyone. My name is Tamara Thompson. I'm from South Carolina, born and raised in Sumter. I'm a quality launch supervisor at the Volvo Cars plant in Ridgefield. I'm helping build the new Volvo EX90 here. At Volvo Cars, people are at the center. We feel supported, recognized, and feel like we can grow our careers. And we're hiring. Apply now at readysc.org/Volvo.
No manufacturing experience required. Must be 18 years or older with a high school diploma or GED.
The world returns to the State Fairgrounds on April 1st and 2nd for the 28th year of the Columbia International Festival. Experience South Carolina's cultural diversity, explore 100 national exhibits, taste foods from around the world, and shop at an international bazaar. Enjoy cultural performances, fashion shows, and a parade of nations. This year highlights North America. For more information, visit cifonline.org.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game. Sponsored by the power of Love Chevrolet. While the other dealers are scrambling for slick new catchphrases, we're doubling down on who we are and what we do. Honesty, transparency, and utmost integrity. Love Chevy, I-26 at Harbison, and it's lovechevy.com. Like new roads. The early game with Bill Gunter.
Age is now, and I'm 40. It's not like I'm 80. It's catching up to me, and this pollen has finally affected me to the point that I was driving up to Bayshore. I don't know if I can talk for 3 hours. This is the first time I've ever been sick
That
before.
hallelujah chorus.
You say hallelujah, you get the last 2 hours. I'm fine with that.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
Bill, this is the big game, man. It's the big day. You got to gut through this one. I got faith in you.
And Jen Jensen.
He'll make it. He'll just whine through half of it. So that's how it's going to work.
On your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5
No.
The Game.
Oh, that's the Red Sox.
We're rolling along on a Thursday morning. Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen, and head coach Tony Annan joining us this morning as we carry through. We'll get into some United States soccer. The Americans with a 1-0 victory over El Salvador on Monday, and we'll get into that. But real quick, you kind of brought it up off air, and I'm just interested. Caitlin Clark yesterday was given the Naismith Award for top women's basketball player in the country. People around here are not going to be very thrilled about that. There's going to be a certain coach, I believe, just down the road who is going to use that as maybe motivation. As a coach, when you've got your player that you stand up for, that you know is really good, I think the easiest thing in the world is to say, well, they didn't get the individual award. We'll go win the team award. But how does that work behind closed doors for you in the past when you feel a player is slighted? Do you comfort them? Do you talk to them? Is it something? How would you address that just behind closed doors and not publicly?
I think you have to read the player, right? Some players will intrinsically have the motivation to go, you know what, that's not right, and I'm going to make a statement without you saying anything. But I think you have to read the player, see what the player's emotional state is, and if they're struggling with it, then you have to put your arm around them and say, listen, it means nothing. I know you're disappointed, but the only way to show that it should have been you is to go out on the court and let the feet or your hands do the talking. So I think Dawn will use it if she needs it. If Aaliyah needs it, Dawn will use it, but I don't think they'll make a big deal of it and let it be a distraction. But when I saw it, I was like, oh, there's a fuse being lit.
Yeah.
Because as a player, when I know I was probably statistically better, if not, visually better, then I'd have said, okay, game on, let's go. So I think you might see Miss Boston come out all guns are glowing,
Well, and it's even crazier in this situation because, oh, by the way, that's the next opponent. It's one thing if Iowa was on the other side. Preston, for a play, like I'm trying to think to anybody you played with that maybe got slighted when you played that should have been either first team All SEC or maybe in discussion for something more. Do you remember anything like that in the locker room?
I can't think of anything specifically, but players are always checking things out. They always know who's getting what and who's playing this, or I'm going up against this guy. And it may not be for Aaliyah Boston who has the motivation, but maybe it's Bree Beal who's probably going to be charged with guarding Caitlin Clark.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's going to be like, oh, okay, I got the player of the year. I'm about to lock her down. And so
you know how tight this team is, and you know how together they are, and it's wonderful how amazing she's pulled this team like a family, right? So you hurt my family, I'm going after you, sort of thing. So I don't think it'll just be Aaliyah saying, Aaliyah's a class act, right? And she's got a growth mindset, which is obvious. So she's just going to, like, not to compare her to Michael Jordan, but whenever Jordan got slighted or pushed down, you saw something come out of Jordan. And I think players with that growth mindset handle it quite well, but absolutely they can punish you for it. So I think the family aspect of the team's going to come out, but I also think you'll probably see that little bit of mindset from earlier too.
I also love the aspect of the family aspect. Like some members of the family, you can't get involved with this. So Aaliyah, you just do your job and you be nice and you be growth mindset. And then all of us over here on the other side of the family, we're gonna take care of this. Like we're gonna protect you. You do your thing. But all of us over here, we might handle things a different way. So I like that aspect. I like that relationship.
I think Dawn will use that to her advantage.
You've had we've talked about you've had opportunities, especially last summer, to travel with Shane and Lamont, and you've talked about some of the things that you took away from Shane's program and the family aspect and the culture that you've used to kind of build your program in your time to just kind of observe Dawn and how she's done it, because the culture she's built, and we can talk about this, these kids at this age, for her to have the number of elite level players and for her to find a way to keep them all happy. How hard is that at the college level with kids 18 to now 23 as Jordan Strong gets his extra year of I think he's actually, 25? Yeah. Oh, boy. But yeah, how hard is that for coaches these days, for someone like Dawn who's got this many elite players, and you've got to find a way to keep them all happy?
I mean, what Dawn's done with her program and, where they've come from to where they're at, she's done an amazing job. I mean, you couldn't do much better than what she's done, right? And you've got to tip your hat because you can have all the talent. You can have talented players. You can have boodles of talent. But if you can't manage the talent, you can't motivate the talent, you can't structure the talent, you're not going to win. So like people say, oh, they're bigger, they're athletic, they're stronger, they're more aggressive. Yes, but you've still got to have a game plan and you've still got to manage them off the court and you've still got to instill values in them that make them feel like they are together in a family. So what Dawn's done consistently is amazing. And it's every coach should look at that and go, how do you do what she's done and make it so consistent and so far ahead? Nobody should have an issue with what she's done or say that's because of that. It's because she's a very good coach and because she's a very good manager of people.
Let's go back to your team and some of your guys. Let's talk a little bit about Ben Alexander. I know that's a guy, your goalie. Again, I was trying to explain it. I don't know if you were listening. I think you said you were blaring. What were you blaring? Luther Vandross on the way down? Is that what I?
Oh, thanks for outing me on that. Yeah. Yes.
Oh, your assistant coaches should should have a little stuff, or your players if they listen this morning. But I was talking on the way down. For fans, it's hard to quantify your recruiting because it's not like basketball or football or even baseball where you can look at perfect game and go, oh, we got the number 7 player in the country coming in. You don't have stars next to your players' names, but Ben Alexander was a huge get for you and was a young player this year that was learning the collegiate game. How's he played so far through the first 3 exhibitions you've had?
Yeah, Ben's been great. He was great at the end of the fall. He kind of got his head around it at the end of the fall, but then the season ended. And he came back and he's dedicated himself over the break, and he came back in great shape. We call him the Clock. Big Ben.
Ah, okay. Yeah, okay.
So
yeah.
if you ever see him, just call him the Clock. But he...
Both Preston and I went, huh? Yeah, I got
Big
it.
Ben,
Yeah,
Big Ben,
okay.
yeah. So anyway, he's been great. He's been fantastic. And sort of our number 2 has as well. He's been playing a little bit as well, Matt Bender. And he's pushing Ben, and Ben's pushing him. And there's a real good dynamic between the two of them. But I'm hopeful for Ben. I think Ben's got pro potential. So, like I said, he was young. He got a shock at what the levels it was when he came in. But I think he's got his head around it. He's been very good in the last 3 games, really, yeah.
Ethan Deckel-Dax is a guy who's injured for a lot of the year, but you were expecting to step up and really control the midfield. How's he been so far?
He's been great. He's back. He's fit. He's at last, he's sort of game fit. So he's playing full games almost when you're nearly getting him through a full game. But yeah, creative, technical. I mean, he gives us something just a little different than the normal player. His IQ's high and he's sharp and he's, like I say, he's very tricky, creative, shifts his balance very quickly. So he's a handful. But he's done really well in the last 3 games as well. So, like I said, looking up.
You don't get many. We've laughed about it with Steve Spurrier and with other coaches that maybe use the media to get a message to players. So, but I'll talk. You look at your roster right now, and you've got 2 exhibitions left this week, and you go to North Florida on the 8th. Who else are you looking now to step up? That's got an opportunity now because you got some guys coming in the summer too. They're going to push them. Who do you look at now that you're kind of saying, all right, I want to see from this guy something that gets them ready for the fall?
That's a tough one, I guess. But I guess the biggest surprise of the spring's been John Eske, who's a graduate kid. He's got last year. He has unbelievable pace, and he's so powerful, and he's a really sort of hard to handle kid when he's on. But he hasn't been on as much as he should have been. So this spring, he's took it upon himself to go out early, do a bit of extra training on his own, and he's really sort of got the bit between his teeth. So it'll be interested to see if he can continue it through the spring and come back in the fall with the same intensity, the same level of sacrifice, I would say, to get on the pitch. And like I said, if you get it done, you get rewarded. But
And just to be clear, because I was trying to explain it to Preston off air before you came in, on April 10th, you lose touch with your players. Is that
April 14th we stop, and then obviously after exams are finished, they all go their separate ways for May, June, and some of July.
Yeah,
so like they've got a 2 month away from us.
Right. Well,
what do they do in those 2 months?
Danny gets them, right?
Not until July.
Oh, okay. So they're completely on their own. 803-404-6100. We'll come back. We'll get into United States soccer. Ricardo Pepi stepping up big on Monday night. We'll get into the Gio Reyna stuff. Just get your take on that and how a coach handles bringing in a player like that who's been through controversy, and we'll get into a little bit more as we roll along. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Tony Annan, Bill Gunner, and she's Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Got something to say? Ring us up on the Love Chevy phone line. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. At 803-404-6100. Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Preston here for Absolute Glass, the premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. If your glass is damaged, shattered, cracked, or broken, they can handle the job. Cracked windshields, no problem. They'll come out to your location to replace it for you, usually for free, and they work directly with your insurance to take away the headache. If you're looking to increase the value of your home with new windows and mirrors, Absolute Glass will come out and take care of all of that for you. Windows, mirrors, shower enclosures. You hear me say it all the time. If you can see through it, Ray and Marianne at Absolute Glass can do it. So check them out online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. That's online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com.
The tournament is heating up, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. That's because right now, FanDuel is giving new customers a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Just go to FanDuel.com/win and sign up today to claim your no-sweat first bet. Then you can wager on everything from the point spreads to which team will be cutting down the net. All on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use.
Must be present in state where lawful to wager. 21 plus in select states. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable sportsbook bonus bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. FanDuel is offering sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino LLC. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG. Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Tennessee, Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 Arizona. 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. 1-800-522-4700 or visit KSGamblingHelp.com Kansas. 1-877-770-STOP Louisiana. Visit MDGamblingHelp.org in Maryland. 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. 1-800-522-4700 Wyoming or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net West Virginia.
Sponsored by Dell Technologies.
The Dell Technologies semi-annual sale starts now with savings on select PCs powered by the latest 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Plus, get deals on select accessories and free shipping on everything. Save now by calling 877-ASK-DELL.
Introducing Herndon Certified. Herndon Certified used vehicles are quality assured and come with our 60-day warranty, complete with nationwide coverage. Don't just buy a used car. Buy a Herndon Certified used car and drive with confidence, knowing Herndon's got you covered. Find your perfect pre-owned in-store or online at HerndonChevy.com.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile, smile.
Beneath their gorgeous exterior, 1-800-GOT-JUNK trucks were designed to be ready for anything.
How about construction site junk?
All you have to do is point.
Retail, grocery store, warehouse, office junk?
Point, 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 point.
How about the monumental junk left after a fire or a flood or a hurricane?
This time, you'll need to do it with your other hand.
Why?
Because the first hand will be tired from all of that other pointing.
I see your point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Experience the future of connectivity with Spectrum One. You get Spectrum Internet delivering the fastest speeds in the nation for $49.99 a month. Advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced privacy and security, free for 12 months. And a Spectrum mobile line with unlimited talk, text, and data, plus nationwide 5G, free for 12 months. That's Spectrum One. Visit Spectrum.com or your local Spectrum store today. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Yes, we're stranded off the Main Street exit northbound. How fast can you be here?
I just want to check under the hood while we wait.
Hold on just a sec. Honey, it's dark out. I don't think it's a good idea to get out.
I'm sure it'll take them a while.
They're here?
Wow.
We're not that fast, but we're pretty close. When you're in a pickle because you drive a lemon, call Schroeder's Towing. Don't be left on the side of the road distressed. That's Schroeder's Towing with over 1,200 Google reviews. Call now at 772-7930.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
No one in the wrestling business has experienced the trials and tribulations, along with redemptions and longevity quite like Jeff Jarrett. Come along for the ride on the My World with Jeff Jarrett podcast.
Just one day after memorializing and celebrating the life of your father, you step up to the plate and you win the Tag Team Battle Royal.
After 2022, why are you surprised? Are you another one of those delusional AEW fans that, I'm kidding, Conrad.
My World with Jeff Jarrett, wherever you listen.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
I-26 westbound before Broad River Road, we have an accident there, and that has the right lane blocked. So be careful if you're approaching that area. Allow for some slowdowns. We've had some slowdowns across the Midlands because of that closure there on I-77 northbound between I-26 and Bluff Road. That's wrapping up this weekend, but traffic being diverted throughout the area. So extra slowdowns this morning. So allow for a little extra time if you would. We're looking for a high today of about 74, sun and clouds for Friday, and a high of 81. Might see some rain and thunder on Saturday. 78 will be our high, but it's a cool start for sure. It is 43 right now at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The Early Game with Bill Gunter.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
And Jen Jensen on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Glory days. Well, pass you by, glory days. And the world of young girls die, glory days. Glory days.
I don't know if Jen did that on purpose or not, but
Oh, yeah.
Coach was right on top of it.
I got it.
He doesn't even
First
have,
day of baseball.
that's true. Yeah, we got opening day.
Feels like it. That feels like baseball.
Opening day. Did you get into in Atlanta when you were in there? Did you get into opening day some with the Braves?
I got into the Braves. Yeah, I was a bandwagoner. I
Okay.
jumped on it and went to all the big games and had a good time. And to be fair, I was in Athens, Georgia when they won the World Series. It was 96.
Yeah.
David Justice.
Something like that.
David Justice playing for them then?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Mhm.
And I got into it I celebrated like I knew what baseball was, and I'd only been in the country 2 years, but I celebrated like I was a lifelong Braves fan in Athens, Georgia, in
Okay.
'96. I had the best time.
Oh,
Braves fans are good. I like the Braves.
And they've done honestly that park over there. And I don't know.
Yeah, the Battery.
Yeah.
It's an unreal place to go and watch a game because there's so much to do and restaurants and bars. It gets packed.
It's
a good time.
I was over there back in August, and for a Braves for Spencer Strider set the rookie record for strikeouts, broke Smoltz's record, and I just happened to be at that game. It was a lot of fun. 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in. Let's get to a couple people who want to ask you some questions. Let's just start with a serious one. McGee missed a little bit of our conversation back in the 6 o'clock hour. He says, I want to hear Coach's take on the debacle with Tottenham and Conte. This is McGee saying it. He says, I'm team Conte all the way, and Lord help me if Harry Kane walks to your take, kind of a quick synopsis on your take on that. And also what may happen with Harry Kane.
Yeah, I'm also team Conte. I love Conte. I've loved him for years. I think he's an absolutely fantastic manager. I'm sad it didn't work out with Spurs. Now I was hopeful for him because I really do like him as a manager, and I look at him a lot as what he's done, how he does things. I was fortunate to watch him for 2 weeks in person, which obviously made me a fan. When he was at Juve years ago. But I think Kane walks this summer. I really do. And I don't think there's anything they can do about it. I think he has to remove himself from it. And I think he wants trophies. He needs to get out of there. And I'd hate to see that happen because he's been a very loyal servant to Spurs, but he's 30. He's maybe got 3 to 4 years left, tops. I think he goes. I think someone buys him.
Market for Harry Kane going to be pretty strong?
100 million. Easy.
No. Okay. Darby weighs in this morning, says, question for Coach. Where have you found the best bangers and mash in your lifetime? And then a question, is there a place locally that you found that offers the dish and is worth a try?
Locally, I've not found bangers and mash.
Okay.
And I'll be honest with you, I haven't looked for it.
Okay. All right. Well, then.
But I'm sure there's somewhere. The best bangers and mash I ever had, and even though my mum's not listening, she's going to be so proud of me, was my mum's bangers and mash.
There we go.
When I was a young boy.
There
I used to love my mum's bangers and mash.
Have you tried to make them yourself in her way?
I have not. I'm not I don't crave bangers and mash.
Oh, okay.
It's not my kind of.
Well, so you won't worry about cooking them, but if she does, you'll enjoy it.
I'm a little more disappointed knowing that over there it's what about 120, 220, 120, something like that. That she's not. We have an internet stream. She can listen to her son over the internet.
Yeah, but then I'd get a million questions about it, and I don't want to answer any questions. Why did you not say this? Why did you not say that? Why,
You were very nice to that Gamecock Larry guy.
Yeah. You're not that nice to me. I mean, then I'd get so much grief. So I just, I don't tell her.
Understood.
See if I can track her down and tell her to start listening.
She's here in a few weeks. She's coming in June.
Oh, good.
So I'll let her know. She'll be listening then.
That would be so much fun.
803.
You don't want my mum on this microphone.
Oh,
believe
okay.
me.
803. I don't know. We bring her in early.
People don't understand me. They've got no chance of understanding my mother.
It's the fun part. USA 1-0 victory over El Salvador. By the way, I feel like I'm getting better with the terminology. I'm using match more often. Kneel.
Is it kneel? Like you're kneeling on your knee, or is it nil?
Nil.
No. Okay.
Nil.
Which is very close to NIL. So
Okay. Well, and that's what I thought. But he says it more like kneel, so I'm just confused.
Kneel.
I had a guy asking the other day. He said this kid would like to pay nil. He was a British guy to come to school. and he had nil in NIL big letters, and I'm like, you can't be using that terminology around me anymore because now it looks like you're looking for an NIL deal.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Not
this is
nothing.
not the way it is, So it's nil.
USA again, the one 1-0 victory over El Salvador. But the kind of the two storylines that I took out of it, one, the good storyline was the kind of the return or the emergence of Ricardo Pepi, a player that the United States had kind of counted on, but I think, correct me if I'm wrong, been left off the World Cup roster, and that I think was a little bit of a surprise. But your take on seeing him back and the performance he had on Monday night?
Yeah, I've seen Pepe since he was probably 14 when he was at Dallas and we used to play against them. Amazing talent. He went over to Europe pretty early, so he's been out of the sort of public eye here. He's been doing all right though. He's been doing well, and he's a big talent. He's a goal scoring machine. I mean, he creates things. He's a sniffer in the box. He gets on the end of everything. So I'm hopeful that he continues, and they continue to give him the space and time to develop with the national team. But yeah, big talent. I was happy to see him score the other night. It was really good.
Really quickly, you referred to him as a sniffer, and I need some clarification, sir.
Yeah, that's another one nobody will understand.
Good catch. Thank you,
When
Preston.
you call it, I knew when I said it, I said, that's not going to go down well. A sniffer in the box is kind of like somebody who doesn't do that much outside the box, but in the box, he sniffs out his chances. He's like a fox.
Gotcha.
Fox in the box. So we call him a sniffer. He's always around sort of poaching. Sort of thing.
Got it.
The other storyline from the other night was kind of the return, or I don't know how we would define it with Gio Reyna, but certainly he and his family have been a big part of controversy since the World Cup. And this is an organization in the United States now that is preparing to host a World Cup. So you want to keep controversy, I guess, as minimal as possible. How did you take, again, I'm calling it his return, but kind of his spot on that roster with, we'll see who the manager ends up being and kind of everything that's going on with that situation?
Yeah, I was pleased Anthony gave him a chance. I don't think it was all him. Obviously the controversy came out. The story's been said. I think the story's behind us now, and he's given him a second chance to prove himself as a player. And quite frankly, he's one of our better, most calm technical players under pressure. And he sees a pass. He's very, very creative, and he's a player that really our national team cannot do without at the stage it's at, trying to break. Yeah, I'm glad he's getting another chance. He was a young kid who made mistakes, as in every sport, and there are kids that make mistakes and make bad decisions. His attitude allegedly was very bad because he wasn't playing, but was that a product of, his parents as well? So hopefully it's behind him. Hopefully he kicks on, and hopefully he's a great player for the US in the next, obviously, few years.
How does a manager at that level? College is a little bit different because you got the younger kids. How does a manager at the professional level handle that when a parent's involved? That seems, Preston, yeah, you're shaking your head. Maybe you've heard stories like in the NFL. Again, we've seen T. Morant seem to be more involved with Ja Morant, and how that's maybe affected him. How does the professional level handle that when you've got parents that seem, especially because with soccer, a lot of these kids are younger. They're in that age where the parents are still heavily involved.
I've never seen the parents involved.
Really?
No, not at a professional level. Now, in a professional development academy, yes, you have to deal with parents all the time. But once they sign a pro deal and they go into the pro team, I don't think a parent has a voice anymore. From what I've seen, what was the basketball kids? Lamar Ball.
Yeah, yeah.
Very, very
LeVar Ball.
Yeah. Very involved, right, and publicly involved. I just don't see that at the level in soccer at the moment until this eruption, what happened in the World Cup. That was the first time I'd seen it. Not to say there's not parents who do call or try to persuade or try to invade, but I don't think they get very far, especially in Europe. It's not a done thing.
One more before we get you out of here and you go to train, but pronounce this correctly for me. Valerian Balogun, the Arsenal striker who's on loan to...
He did a good job. Was
that close?
Close.
Okay. Pronounce it.
No.
It's not his name.
I'm not helping you.
Okay.
You need to learn.
I barely get my name right. This is a player that apparently is eligible to play on the USA team. Explain this situation a little bit and how he could impact the United States.
Yeah, talent, very, very talented kid. And he's chosen to align with the US they can at a certain point without a certain amount of caps for another country. So once he's done this, that's it though. I think it's his one time to declare where he's playing, and albeit he'll be a US player for the rest of his international career. So, but he would be a big impact. He's a very good player, and he's an impact player for any team that he plays on. So I would say it will be a huge win-win for the US.
Before we let you out of here, again, Saturday, 3 o'clock, free admission, East Tennessee State over at Stone Stadium. I know I've kind of asked you this already, but we'll kind of just recap real quick. What are you looking for from your club? It'll be the last home match of the spring before you circle back to August and September. It's been I think you would agree, it's been a really good spring so far. So you've got a lot of momentum, it seems, moving forward. What are you looking for Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, it has. It's been a positive spring. Training's been very, very good. I'm really happy with the way training's gone. Every session we've done has been very impactful. So really happy there. Game-wise, just looking for consistency of our principles that we've been working all spring. Second half, we did it last week, and hopefully we can take a second half performance and roll it into a first half performance against East Tennessee, who will be a better team, so it'll be a better challenge. And individual consistency, but also a team consistency in the way we play and the way we defend. So really looking for simple things.
We still got to get you and Preston to walk campus one morning. I haven't forgotten about that. If Preston wasn't leaving today, it might have been the day. But
I've got training.
I'll
be on a scooter in a few weeks as well. So
I mean, even if you had training, we'll just get you here earlier. But yeah, you're right. We'll have to maybe the week after the 8th, because as he said, they go up to the 14th. Coach, we always appreciate it when you stop by. Thank you for all the proper English breakfast. Off air, he explained what
black pudding
that I about didn't make it back for that segment when he explained what that was. And we've covered Antonio Conte and Tottenham. We'll catch up with you next week. Good luck this weekend.
Cheers.
We'll be right back. More of the early game on 107.5 The Game.
We are very social.
At 1075 The Game on Twitter, 1075 The Game on Instagram, and 1075 The Game on Facebook.
Oh, Teddy, did you get my friend request? I'll have to check.
Your home of the Gamecocks, 1075 The Game.
Text entitled with approved credit call 888-411-7640 for details. JT's got it. 0% financing for 72 months at Dodgeland. You don't pay any interest on the money you borrow for 6 years. Come to Dodgeland and pick out a new Charger, Challenger, Durango, or Ram. And while JT has slashed the interest to 0%, he's also slashing prices. Like up to $11,000 off on a Ram. Drive for just $349 a month. Rush to Dodgeland on Greystone for 0% financing for 72 months. JT'sDodge.com. Ram Truck Month.
Finding great people to hire is like trying to find a
Hope says she knows what school you're going to, you in Langston, and make sure you speak to her daughter, Kristen, who's a teacher intern there.
Okay, cool.
So, I must have not charged my phone last night. I'm already. That's not good. Do what? I think he retired. I thought he officially retired last year. All right. Yeah. Anything in particular you want to get into before you get out of here? Carlton, we don't know when these cameras will be up. They're up. They've actually got. I think the third camera is actually back. It doesn't seem like they've done anything in a week and a half. Like they've got this little board set up right there. You can see like the production board, but they haven't done anything. So it's kind of slowed everything down. I don't know. No. Yeah, there goes my phone. $7:34 on a Thursday morning. Big thank you to head coach Tony Annan for joining us this morning, as he does each and every week. Talking a little soccer with him, talking a little Dawn Staley as they get ready for the Final Four coming up in about 45 minutes. We'll be joined by Brian Edwards, a Vegas insider. He'll give us a little bit of a breakdown on the South Carolina-Iowa game as well, to go along with the Final Four predictions for this coming weekend. Do want to tell you about my good friends at Zero Res. If you're looking to get your house nice and clean, get those carpets, rugs, tile, upholstery all insanely clean, it's time to contact Zero Res. 803-262-4020 is how you can schedule an appointment today. Mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for just $119. So don't wait any longer. Contact Zero Res today. Take advantage of their spring cleaning sale. 803-4, that's our phone number. 803-262-4020 is how you can reach Zero Res, or you can schedule online. ZeroResColumbia.com is the way to do that with their patented ZR water technology, scientifically proven to keep your carpets, your rugs, your tile, your upholstery all insanely clean and keep it cleaner longer. Zero Res is your easy go-to contact to make that happen. 803-262-4020, or again, schedule online, ZeroResColumbia.com. Zero Res, spelled backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean. I'm kind of, the more I think about it, Preston, and talking with Coach Annan about them having spring exhibition matches, and they've got 5 of them. They played 2 semi-professional teams, or I guess one of them was a club team for the Charlotte FC team, and then they played the Charleston Battery. Now they've had matches against UNC Asheville. They'll play East Tennessee State on Saturday, and then they got one more where they'll travel to North Florida. And by the way, they've been able to train since January. The training January through April 14th. But it makes me think about spring football practice and just helping, I guess. How different would it be if you could have, say, 2 exhibition games? I get it. I wonder, you brought it up. I wonder if you kept it behind closed doors so nobody could go and watch. But you know these things, ABC, ESPN, they love this. They would love to televise something like this, especially if you could get, say an Alabama, Southern Cal, Alabama, Ohio State spring game. Yeah, I get it. People would get upset. I'm interested in your take on that, because it seems something that's so easy and that would be allowable, yet the NCAA doesn't want to do it.
Well, there's 2 sides to this. Let's talk about the tactical side first.
Okay.
It would be tremendously beneficial for every team to be able to work against another squad, because what happens during the spring, especially around this point, practice 7, 8, 9, is you kind of get a chance. You know each other. You know what the other team's doing. You've been going against the same dude for the last 9 practices. You sort of fall into a little bit of a rut, and it gets a little monotonous as far as playing, and I would imagine coaching on this level. So being able to see another team, see how another team operates, would only sharpen your saw as a player or a coach. So tactically, it'd be tremendously beneficial. But the other side is that I don't know if these coaches would play nice. They say they would, but Bill, you've been involved with AAU sports. You've been involved in high school basketball. I've been involved in high school football. Without a doubt, every year some scrimmage goes off the rails because one coach plays the ones too long, or one coach we're supposed to be working on run periods, and Coach Spurrier throws a reverse or something like that, and then guys get mad. Then there's some extracurricular activity, and it's not always the players, as I've learned as I got older. Sometimes it's the coaches, and they have their egos that they're trying to work on, and there's a lot that could go wrong. So a lot of times I think this might be protecting the coaches from themselves in this competition, because every coach is not going to play nice. It would have to be, let's just say, for instance, it would have to be somebody like Shane and what's the coach at USC now?
Lincoln Riley.
It'd have to be Shane and Lincoln Riley, two coaches that are familiar with each other. Maybe they don't play each other during the year, but they have a mutual respect. They know they're not going to try and outshine each other. We're actually here to work on the work. That's how it, because any other way, if there's any underlying tension, and it might not be the head coach's bill, it might be, man, I was an OC on his staff, and now he fired me, and now I'm on this other
True.
staff, and we're going to try and light him up. Coaches have tremendous egos, and they would shine in these type of environments.
I would wonder, you make a good point about that. I would think, though, that there are ways to set up where, let's just use, again, Shane Beamer and Lincoln Riley. They get together and go, hey, the first 12 minutes, and I guess maybe what I would think maybe the NCAA could allow is these coaches to script what these coaches to get together and script, not have a game, not have a spring game where it's like a regular season game of 4 or 15
practice.
minutes.
They do it in the NFL. They do joint practices all the time in the NFL, and sometimes you see those goes a little bit off the rails, a little bit. But
that's football. You're going to have that because it's a physical violence sport.
But it's all just would have to come down to the mutual respect between the coaches. Are we here to work on the work, or am I trying to get one over on you? And if we have a personal relationship, it usually will work. It's just sometimes you're just not aware of all the underlying dynamics.
It's something that again, just listening to Tony Annan talk about it and what they're doing is very interesting, and how you could relate it back to college football and what's happening with spring practice. 803-404-6100. We will get into some baseball discussion. South Carolina and Mississippi State tonight, 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock first pitch. There's a change in the pitching rotation. We've kind of not gotten to that this morning, and someone on our Firehouse Subs text line just brought it up, and we do need to get to that. But we will bring this up. A change to the pitching rotation if you've not seen. Again, that game, 6:45 pregame tonight, 7 o'clock first pitch. We'll tell you about this pitching rotation change if you haven't heard, and we'll talk a little bit about this contest tonight when we come back. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
107.5 The Game on demand podcast menu.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better sooner.
On the home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Staying nice and warm during the winter, trust me. This winter actually wasn't bad, but that's always fun. Now, we're heading toward the summer. Staying cool. Your air conditioner working. Trust me, it's imperative that happens. I've been around Columbia for 40 years. The famously hot slogan, it applies. It applies very, very well. And if your air conditioner goes out this summer, you're going to be miserable. I can guarantee it. Don't let that happen. Contact AAA Heating and Air today. Maybe you just need maintenance. Maybe that's all you need. You get a trained technician out to your house, let them inspect your unit, make sure everything is working properly, and then you feel comfortable. Maybe you're in the market for a brand new heating and air unit. And if that's the case, well, AAA Heating and Air has great deals for you. Contact them today, 803-677-1500. That's how you can get in touch with AAA Heating and Air today. Great deals taking place. And what you want to do is take advantage of them now. They've taken care of me and my family. They were out the house not too long ago. I can tell you, I had a great experience with AAA Heating and Air, and it all started by them guaranteeing financing. Regardless of credit, they were able to make sure my family got the financing we needed. On top of that, they offered a 15-year parts and labor warranty. And trust me, that was really important because now I feel comfortable. If something goes wrong, AAA Heating and Air is there to fix it. They'll get it taken care of within a day. I know that nothing needs to be worried about with that new heating and air unit. And again, part of that great deal, they offered a $1,500 rebate to buy back my old unit. Contact AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. Again, that's 803-677-1500. That's how you can get in touch with AAA Heating and Air. Contact them today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
Sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A. Copyright 2023.
Life matters. Have you ever wondered why some people use the phrase the naked truth to describe absolute truth? Well, according to ancient legend, truth and falsehood once went swimming together. When they came out of the water naked, falsehood went running ahead, dressed in truth's clothing, and sped away. Truth, unwilling to appear in falsehood's clothing, went naked. A lot of falsehoods masquerade as truth, but real truth will not allow itself to be clothed with anything that smacks of deception or misinformation. That is why Jesus Christ said, I am the truth, and no one comes to Father God except through me. He's the real deal, and there's no falsehood in him. To find out more naked truth about Jesus, join us on Sundays at 9 a.m. or 11 a.m. at Christian Life on Bush River Road in Columbia. You may also visit us on the web at ChristianLifeColumbia.com. This is Pastor Stephen Chitty. Remember, life matters, and so do you. Go to clcolumbia.com for in-person and live streaming service times.
Let's text and title with approved credit call 866-243-4623 for details. JT's got the best financing offer available. 0% financing for 72 months at JT's Jeep Dodge Ram. And as incredible as that seems, JT is still slashing prices. Up to $5,000 off on Wranglers, up to $11,000 off on Rams. Drive a Ram for just $349 a month. You will never be able to finance lower than 0%. And JT's got it right now. Rush to JT's Jeep Dodge Ram, 378 Lexington. JT'sJeep.com Jeep Celebration Event.
One search engine is used by 9 out of 10 consumers. Hint, the name begins with a G. And there are hundreds of things that go into being ranked highly by that engine. Your website, your business profile, even your social accounts. A couple of slip-ups and you find yourself on page 7. But at Cumulus Boost, we have the experts and resources to fix what's wrong and boost your findability so you can rank higher than your competition. Get started today at cumulusboost.com. CUMULUS boost.com.
Locally owned Atlantic Windows and Doors has been making Columbia area homes more comfortable, attractive, weather-tight, and energy efficient for over 35 years. How? By distributing products from the best window and door manufacturers in the country. These products give you the best looks, the best quality, and the best value, all based on your specific needs. And everything is professionally installed by their dedicated and experienced employees, not subcontractors. Atlantic Windows and Doors. Visit them online at awdsc.com.
If you've seen them, you need to call me. Hey, this is Paul Romanstein, proud owner of Midlands Landscape and Lawns. If you're seeing weeds in your yard, let Midlands Landscape help you get rid of them. When you sign up for our Midlands Green Treatment Program, our lawn experts will give your turf the fertilization it needs while conquering the weeds, ensuring that your lawn will be green and lush. So give us a try. Midlands Landscape and Lawns. Schedule an appointment today at hateweeds.com. That's hateweeds.com.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's $7,500 sign-on bonuses, increased pay, and great employee benefits available. Start your new year off with a new career. Visit joinscdc.com to apply today, or call 803-734-JOBS for more information. The world returns to the State Fairgrounds on April 1st and 2nd for the Columbia International Festival. Experience South Carolina's cultural diversity with people, food, and music from around the world. For more information, visit cifonline.org.
Get the right care at the right place. Visit Lexington Medical Center's convenient urgent care centers for minor illnesses and injuries, and use our emergency room for emergencies. Go to lexmed.com/care now to know where to go for the care you need now.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Still working that earlier accident, I-26 westbound just before Broad River Road. Aside from that, traffic moving along fairly well. Could be a little more slow going throughout the downtown area just because of that tie-up on I-77 northbound between I-26 and Bluff Road, where they are working on some bridges, so that is currently closed. Your forecast for today, 74 will be our high, up to 81 tomorrow, 78 on Saturday when the chances for some rain return. Right now, though, 43 at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified, Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
with Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
on Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
That's where we're trying to go. It's my day, man. This is the only hope I have this season. Hope is strong. Not saying it's going to last. So grant me that.
Play it. But that's not the
It's a
that's
fun
just
song.
that's just Go Cubs Go. That's not Fly the W, is it? Or what's the
Well, it's all, yeah, I mean, that's just Fly the W's.
Oh, it's
the
just a
phrase.
saying?
Mhm, just
Ah,
a saying.
okay, yeah.
Go Cubs Go is the actual. Anytime they win, that's what you play at the end of the game.
Is there a song? Is there a song about a winning franchise? Like if you have a song made about you, or you're a losing franchise, right? Like that's part of the lovable louvers. I think the Eagles have a Fly Eagles Fly, but that might be their
Mhm.
like their kind of like everybody's got what do you want to call it in college?
Alma mater,
No.
theme song, fight song.
Fight song. Thank you. Fight song. Good grief.
It's all right. It's all right. We're getting there.
But I mean, if you have an actual song made about you, you're kind of a lovable loser of a franchise, right?
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah, that's probably correct.
You know, I mean, like the Bears had the Super Bowl shuffle back in like, 85.
I'm not
so-
saying you can't win occasionally. Cubs won a World Series.
Yep.
Bears won a Super Bowl.
Mhm.
Morgan Wallen just wrote a song about the 98 Braves. They've won 2 World Series.
Yep.
Like you can win, but you're kind of, if you have a song written about your franchise, it's not good, right?
No, it's not. And I was just thinking about the Cubs. I have a very specific timeline of Cubs in my mind. And, Ryan Sandberg doesn't play for them anymore. Mark Grace is
No.
not there.
No.
The Hawk.
Andre Dawkins, yeah.
Andre Dawson's gone.
Yeah.
Benito
I
Santiago.
call Dawkins. Is it Dawson?
Mhm.
Andre Dawson? Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
I think the last prep, I believe, aside from Sosa, was like Kerry Wood and that crew.
Mhm.
But significant gaps in my Cubs knowledge.
Yeah, well, and even the roster has just turned over really in the past year or two. So we're trying to get used to
Yeah.
who some of the players are. You know, so it's just a different thing. They're all kind of splintered everywhere.
Cubs today, again, it is opening day in Major League Baseball, and we've talked about it, and maybe we're part of it. I'm shocked that ESPN doesn't have more games on today. This used to be a thing where, they would have the 1, the 4, and the 7 o'clock, and the 10 o'clock
Mm-hmm.
spots all taken. Just one game on television today on ESPN. I know there's some games on Major League Baseball Network, but that one game today, the White Sox and the Astros, 7 o'clock tonight.
Sorry, was my mic on?
Yeah. I don't even know what sound that was, though.
Ugh. How's that?
It's a little bit of a shock. I know you can watch like the Braves, I believe, on Bally Sports. They're up in Washington, San Francisco, and New York at 105 today on MLB Network. Well, I'll talk more about that in the coming hour. But we mentioned tonight, 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock first pitch. South Carolina goes out to Mississippi State. Preston, we've kind of talked about it. Will Sanders has struggled this year. Just something. I shouldn't say struggled because that would imply that he's been awful. He just hasn't been the pitcher that we thought he would be. Now, last outing, yes, he did struggle, but by and large, maybe I should say he just hasn't been the pitcher we expected, which is a first-round type guy. It would be our dominant Friday night starter in the SEC, and Will Sanders has been okay. Again, he hasn't been great. He's not in the pitching rotation at all this weekend. South Carolina, Mark Kingston has elected to go with Eli Jones, Noah Hall, and Jack Mahoney in that order. So Eli Jones will get the start tonight. Sanders could come out of the bullpen. This is according to John Whittle. He's not injured at all. This is not an injury. There's no arm soreness. They actually would like to hold him all weekend if possible.
Yeah, so it sounds like, I don't know, I'm not there. Sounds like it's like a reset, a mental reset, a mental refresher. Maybe there's some mechanical things that he needs a little bit of extra time to work on. He'd probably get up in the bullpen and throw a little bit to get that down. And it's pretty nice as a team to feel like you have the luxury to be able to do that during this point in the season. And it might be a case where Coach Kingston is saying, let's maybe take a little bit of pain now to save the season for later. And it might be for Will. It might be a case where he's trying to figure some things out and maybe just taking a breath, taking a beat, getting away from being the guy with all the pressure on Friday night. It might be just what he needs. So I applaud Coach Kingston for making a decision, because that's a tough decision to take your ace off the mound. Our natural instinct is to just keep going, plow through it, work through it. And for them to just take a break, I think that might be a good indicator.
Yeah, Eli Jones, again, getting the start tonight, 4-0 on the season. He's pitched in 20 and a third innings. He does have 24 strikeouts and just 4 walks on the season. He's holding opponents to a 182 batting average. So you're right. That's the one thing about this that Jamie Bradford has talked about maybe a few weeks ago. It's kind of alluded to. They don't, thankfully, knock on wood, they don't have injuries right now. And that pitching staff is deep. I mean, you could easily go with James Hicks tonight. You've got Eli Jones again. You've got several pitchers that you could maybe roll out there if you want. And that's kind of a testament. At some point, you've got to say, hey, all right, Mark Kingston and his staff have done a pretty good job of building depth through recruiting, right? Because baseball recruiting, sometimes you don't pay attention to it because you lose guys to the pros before they make it to campus. But it's kind of a sign that they've done a good job of building some depth with their staff.
Absolutely. To have the confidence to feel like we can substitute pitcher B for pitcher A is a great sign for the future. And I really think moving forward, this is going to help in the long run for the season because there's no loss in this. Either Will's going to get himself together and he's going to find his stuff, or B, you're going to figure out that you have other pitchers that you can go to. And so making this decision early in the season will be beneficial for the team one way or the other.
With it, again, you can hear it right here on 107.5 The Game, 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock first pitch. With it being a Thursday night game, you get the kind of the showcase game of the weekend. So it'll also be broadcast on the SEC network and a chance for people to check it out. I'm interested to see if you can hold Will Sanders all weekend. Do you ever remember anything like this in football where maybe you just hold a player out for a game to let them, somebody that was struggling that you thought maybe would be a little bit better? I remember, I think it was your junior year, Ryan Brewer got hurt. There was an injury. And he kind of had to play through it instead of maybe being able to take a week or two to heal.
Yeah, that's a great example. That's a great example. And that happens a lot of times in sports where it's like, man, if you go now, you can go at 75%. And I'm talking either physically, even or mentally. You can go now at 75%. But if we had the luxury of waiting a week, you could get up to 85. You could get up to 90, or you might even get even as close to 100 as you can get. But every time you go out on the competition, on the field, the match, the pitch, whatever, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So rest early in the season, I would advise it.
You are off to White Knoll.
We're out.
White Knoll Elementary?
Yes, sir.
Is that all right? Go get them. Go teach the kids. Go work with the kids.
We'll see how it
goes. A step up in maturity from what you deal with Jen over there.
Yeah, okay, that's it.
What? Do you think I was going to say me?
Well, of course not. We don't want to admit to anything.
You got your pick ready?
I do. I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to be texting it in.
Perfect.
You're because you're not here, you pick last.
Oh no, that's not.
You and I are tied for the lead, 22 points each.
Let's go.
We'll see who you have tomorrow. Look forward to it. Have fun this afternoon.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
We'll be back. Hour number 3 on the way.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Gamecock quarterback Spencer Rattler, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game, the home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing.
The Eagles Hotel California Tour.
Welcome to the Hotel California.
Live in concert with a full orchestra. Performing their iconic album, Hotel California, beginning to end, plus a greatest hits set. The Eagles. Colonial Life Arena, Columbia, March 30th. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
Hey, Scott here from Traditions Fine Jewelers. When it comes to diamonds, everybody knows that we have the best selection. But did you know that we also have the best prices? How do we do it? In Mine Diamonds, we work directly with the largest cutters, and in Lab Grown Diamonds, by working directly with the growing laboratories, which allows us to offer you the best quality at the very best price. Like a lab grown 1 carat diamond for just $999, or a 2 carat for just $2,999. We've even got a beautiful colorless 3 carat diamond for just $4,999. And once you've picked your diamond, we can help you pick exactly the right engagement ring style from our selection of over 1,000 rings, or we can help you design a custom ring that meets your exact specifications. So do your homework and see what diamonds are selling for online, and then come see us. You'll get exactly what you want at the very best price. Only at Traditions Fine Jewelers, 5134 Sunset Boulevard in Lexington and in Sand Hills, where the Midland.
Cards issued by Celtic Bank, member FDIC.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 3.5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sport.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game. Sponsored by the Power of Love Chevrolet, Tahoe, Silverado, Suburban, Colorado. If your dreams for the new year include cruising around town in your brand new Chevy, look no further than South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. Love Chevy, I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game with Bill Gunter.
Yeah, so I thought I might get a rose for picking Kyle Busch to win NASCAR and picking a winner correctly. And
Jen Jensen.
Now, keep in mind, Preston, if when we pick a winner, he won't recommend that we get a rose. So just so you know that this is all about him.
Former Gamecock Thorne.
Bill is all about Bill.
Yep.
On your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
.801 on a Thursday morning. Preston Thorne off to promote reading. We allow that. He's not off to go take a nap or enjoy an early breakfast. He's
actually making a contribution to the world.
To the community we send Preston. So we like this community and certainly enjoy that. Big thank you again to Russ Wharton for joining us back on Tuesday to talk about the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and the gala that they are having on Saturday night over at the Columbia Museum of Art. We look forward to doing more things within the community over the coming weeks and being a part of that. So, Preston off, but that's right. We got Brian Edwards coming up this hour. We'll talk a little bit about the upcoming Final Four. We'll talk a little bit about South Carolina and Iowa tomorrow night, 9 o'clock on ESPN. You can hear it right here on 107.5 The Game. It'll be ESPN has it listed as a 9 o'clock start time, but the game before it starts at 7. That should run over, so it'll be a 9 p.m. pregame right here on 107.5 The Game, followed by 9:30 tip time. The baseball game tomorrow night will be on ESPN 1320 WISW, 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock first pitch. So if you're just trying to set your calendars correctly and your listening schedule correctly, tomorrow night pregame for the women's game, 9 p.m., 9:30 tip time, and the baseball game will be on ESPN's 1320 WISW, our sister station, 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock first pitch. So a little bit of there.
I think it's from the top down.
Due up here in about 10 minutes. NIT finals tonight. Anybody excited about that? Anybody? Do you even know where? Can you even name where the NIT is taking place at? Oh, sure, you go Gunner. You're an idiot. It's at Madison Square Garden. Nope, it's not. They moved it. It's in Las Vegas. And then I guarantee you, few of you
exams are finished,
can name the two teams playing. Maybe one. I would be shocked at how many people are paying attention and know the two teams playing tonight in the NIT. But Brian Edwards will come up here in about 10 minutes. He's got a pick for that game tonight. The answer you're looking for is Alabama Birmingham versus North Texas on ESPN2 tonight. That's your answer to that. Major League Baseball gets going today. We've played the Cubs song.
Thanks for humoring me.
Did a Cubs? I'm serious. I'm going somewhere with this. Did a Cubs homer write that? Like, is that what? Or did somebody just write that nationally? Do you know?
I assume it was I really don't know the history, but I just kind of assumed that it was somebody local. I should probably know the history of the song, but
if we can
just
get it real quick. Here's why I bring it up, because I said that Steve Goodman wrote it. He was a lifelong Cubs fan, so okay, all
makes
right.
sense.
Lifelong Cubs fan, because people I said, if you have a song written about you, you're kind of a lovable loser. Well, Patrick Davis is a big South Carolina fan, and that's written specifically.
Yeah, because he's got
a couple.
Yeah, he has one for the baseball team, one for the football team. So, and they're not losers. So
no, they're not. But I take that as Patrick Davis is more of a part of the program than he is, say,
because he's an alum, correct?
I think so.
Yeah.
Jamie Bradford knows better than I do. But yeah, so no, I wasn't lumping Patrick in with all that there for South Carolina. 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in. Again, opening day in Major League Baseball. Preston and I have talked a little bit. I don't know the reasoning. Again, opening day, Jen, you're excited. Jen's wearing her Cubs gear.
Go Cubs, go.
Opening day always, as she showcases it on the live stream. Opening day always is like a fun, exciting day. It's kind of another sign that, and then probably for more people, I always use the NCAA Selection Sunday is kind of my first day of spring. That's typically when we spring forward. You get more daylight hours. Always kind of go with that. But I know there's a lot of people out there, probably more so in the Northeast, where it stays cooler a little bit longer and you still have snow on the ground, who look at opening day as the first day of spring. I am surprised we don't have more coverage of it with ESPN. Just one game today, again, on ESPN, and that'll be tonight. The Chicago White Sox, who Jen's already showed her disdain for, traveling to Houston. Again, the Braves today. Max Fried on the mound, taking on Washington and Patrick Corbin. San Francisco, the Giants, traveling to New York. Baltimore is at Boston today. Milwaukee and Chicago at Wrigley. And that's kind of my point. Like, you got your Cubs stuff on. Getting back to the ballpark for Chicago fans or for Boston fans or for New York fans, kind of the tradition of going to opening day. Jen, you've been up in that part of the world up there in Chicago. I've got a feeling even at what is probably 7:06 in the morning,
correct,
with the game taking place at 1:10 Central Time, the bar's already packed.
It probably won't take long. That's for sure. Yeah,
Maybe.
Wrigleyville is going to be busy this morning.
And that's the fun part. And again, I'm just a little surprised we don't have more coverage. Fox doesn't, as far as I've been able to tell, Fox doesn't have any games. It looks like a breakdown of all the broadcasts today. And it looks like MLB Network has some games today, but just one on ESPN.
But you wonder, the takeover of like the Marquee Network and Valley Network, like has any of that impacted some of the coverage, or is it just, I don't know.
I don't have the answer on this.
Yeah.
I'm
sure local markets are promoting it more. Like, I'm sure, all the stations up in Chicago broadcasting out to the state, they're all over it. I'm sure if you're in the Atlanta area, you're hearing all about the Braves. But anywhere else, there are people who are fans who are not in those cities. So it is surprising.
Yeah, I knew about opening day because we'd kind of talked about it. So I knew it was March 30th. I think the question I had a couple of days ago or maybe last week, I couldn't remember if it was the 30th or 31st because I got confused on the end of the month. But I think you set me straight and said it was the 30th. And so I'm just surprised, especially, and this is where I just feel like baseball can miss the mark and the problems that it has, is especially coming off of the World Baseball Classic, which was fantastic. And I talked about that last week, and I talked about it where you actually had some momentum. You end that game with Shohei Ohtani versus Mike Trout, two of the best players, if not the two best players in the game. And they're not only are they facing off against each other, they're teammates, and you had Japan and the USA, and it was so much. I actually sat down and watched, not just stared at my phone and had it on the background, watched the most of that contest.
And enjoyed it.
it was a great game. And then you kind of do this, and if you're not maybe a diehard Braves fan or a Cubs fan or a Yankee, Red Sox, whatever, maybe you're like hearing this and be like, oh, okay, well, hey, I'll watch some baseball. That's cool. I didn't know that it was opening day, and that's just kind of the strange thing about Major League Baseball. ESPN's in charge of something. ESPN should be broadcasting. Why is there only one game? Just kind of interesting day. I give you the rest of that schedule. Philadelphia at Texas today. Minnesota at Kansas City, New York. The Mets are down in Miami at the Marlins. Anthony Harris on our live stream. His Pittsburgh Pirates traveling to Cincinnati. Toronto at St. Louis. I mentioned it. The White Sox and the Astros today go into the late night games, 9:40. The Rockies are at San Diego. Then you get into the 10 o'clock games. The Angels are at Oakland. Diamondbacks are at the Dodgers. The Indians are at Seattle today. So that's kind of your Major League Baseball lineup. We will get into that a little bit more. Rick on our live stream says Baltimore is a great park. I've done a ton of games there. You can go to usatoday.com, by the way. They've got a list out, the ranking the stadiums. For those of you wondering, number 30 on the list of stadiums would be the Oakland A's. It's an awful stadium. I think we all know that without question. The Braves, again, this is USA Today forthewin.com checks in. It has Truist Park at number 12 on the list of top stadiums in Major League Baseball. Anthony's PNC Park Pirates, Pittsburgh Pirates checks in at number 4. Wrigley Field checks in at number 3. Oracle Park in San Francisco is number 2. And according to USA Today and their For the Win website, the number 1 park in Major League Baseball is Petco Park, which is home to the San Diego Padres. 803-404-6100. We'll come back. We'll get to Brian Edwards of VegasInsider.com. We'll talk with him about tonight's NIT game. He's got a pick on that. We'll talk about South Carolina, Iowa, and we'll talk about the Final Four this weekend. You're listening to the early game on 105 The Game.
Gotta take.
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line.
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
803-404-6100.
On your home of the Gamecock.
The game.
The tournament is heating up, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. That's because right now, FanDuel is giving new customers a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Just go to FanDuel.com/win and sign up today to claim your no-sweat first bet. Then you can wager on everything from the point spreads to which team will be cutting down the net. All on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use.
Must be present in state where lawful to wager. 21 plus in select states. First online real money wager. Only $10 deposit required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable sportsbook bonus bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. FanDuel is offering sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino LLC. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG. Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Tennessee, Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342 Arizona. 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. 1-800-522-4700 or visit KSGamblingHelp.com Kansas. 1-877-770-STOP Louisiana. Visit MDGamblingHelp.org in Maryland. 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. 1-800-522-4700 Wyoming or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net West Virginia.
Sponsored by Family Dollar. Hop into spring and save more at Family Dollar. Gussy up with beautiful dresses and rompers at great prices. And welcome guests with tasty snacks, beverages, and a variety of ice creams. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
It's Kia Madness, baby, at Galliana Kia on Greystone. Listen up, hoopsters. Your basketball skills can save you an additional $2,500 on any new Galliana Kia in stock. Here's how it works. Select any new Kia from our huge inventory, all at crazy low prices. Seek a basket, and you get up to an additional $2,500 off. Basketball skills not ready for the big show? Bring a friend or family member to take the shot for you. And save up to $2,500 more on any new Kia in stock. Plus, zip, zero, nothing down, and 0 payments for the next 3 months. Any and all trade-ins are welcome.
Gotta go to Galliano.
It's Kia Madness, baby. Trade a 3 and save up to $2,500 more on any new Kia. At Galliana Kia on Greystone. I-126 Zoo Exit in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or KiaColumbia.com. Real stock number 3K1107. 0 down, 270 per month for 84 months at 6.9 APR. Price plus tax tag includes $225 closing fee. Subject to lender approval. Expires month that.
Get ready for the madness of March with Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Right now, mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $119. Book online at ZerorezColumbia.com. TaxDebt.com.
The Eagles Hotel California Tour.
Welcome to the Hotel California.
Live in concert with a full orchestra. Performing their iconic album Hotel California, beginning to end, plus a greatest hits set. The Eagles. Colonial Life Arena, Columbia, March 30th. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
After being almost $500,000 in tax debt, I was listening to the radio one day and heard a ad for John Ecton Law Firm. So I gave him a call and met with him, and he gave me the confidence to trust him after the reason behind my tax problems anyways was trusting someone I probably should have never trusted. He did everything he said he was going to do, and then some. His staff at the office were great, very knowledgeable. With John's help, I have no tax debt now, and I was able to have a family that otherwise I would have never been able to have.
It's great to know we have changed people's lives for the better. Hi, this is local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. For over a decade, our office has been dedicated to helping hardworking individuals and businesses solve tax problems for good. So if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call our office today at 771-9800 or go to EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Let's get your tax problem solved for good. Call today. You'll be
plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply. WISTV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Still working that earlier tie-up I-26 westbound before exit 97. The right lane continues to be blocked. And Hollingshead Road and River Bottom Road, we do have reports on the tie-up.
I don't know what I'm watching, but I'm seeing this. I've heard about Musgrove Mill golf course, but I'm seeing this. Looks beautiful up in Clinton. Need to.
High of 78, but it's warming up right now, 46 at 135.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game. Shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
I don't know what our limits are, what we're allowed to play on this, but yeah, since it's on the radio, we're allowed to just go all through it. I see your lips moving, but I don't hear you. It is. It's a jazzy tune. Tommy Moody's theme song there. Tommy wakes up to that each and every morning. He gets up just clapping. Let's go out to the Love Chevy phone lines. There's basketball this weekend, too. We'll get back into talking to some Major League Baseball. Brian Edwards, a Vegas insider. Brian, did you grow up with a Major League Baseball team? Do you have a team you pull for, you root for, that you put your jersey on and you grab your beverages and watch? Oh. Oh. Okay. All right. But still a 12-2 loss. So tough kind of break. Tough break there. Real quick, I didn't ask you about this, but I don't know how much you do with baseball. I'm just glancing. He's Brian Edwards of VegasInsider.com and MajorWager.com. You can go to both sites, check out MajorWager.com, Vegas Insider. I'm just glancing real quick the 2023 World Series odds. The Astros are the favorite, plus 600 is what I'm looking at. BetMGM, FanDuel. The Braves are right behind them. So the Braves are have the second best odds in Major League Baseball to win the World Series, according to some of this that I'm looking at. Totally understand. Well, let's something you do pay attention to before we get to these games, these basketball games. One of your picks that you gave, I'm still giving you credit for this, all the way back on February 21st. The text you sent me said, I think these three are worth a shot to win it all. UConn at 30-1 odds. Well, they're in the Final Four. Miami at 50-1 odds. Guess who's in the Final Four? And then you also had Providence. Two of your three that you took a chance on way back on February 21st, Connecticut and Miami, both in it. Let's talk a little bit about that real quick. Miami and Connecticut, because you do like a play there on Saturday night.
Out to a lead, like a decent lead, like a 6-point lead or so, and I can get Miami on a live, in-game line at, +9 or certainly +10 or more, I'll bet more at that point on what I have on the game pregame, if that makes sense. So let's say I had, 1 unit on Miami +5.5. If I get a chance, midway through the first half to grab Miami +10, if they're down 6 or 7, I'll put 2 or 3 units on them +10. But in general, I would say that nobody should be in a hurry to go against either one of these teams right now. I think they're both playing fantastic basketball. And check out this underdog stat, or 2 of them actually. So Miami, as an underdog this year, they're 9-1 against the spread with 7 outright wins. But if you go back, I went back to 2 seasons ago. I think it was February 27th of 2021. The Hurricanes have been underdogs 31 times. They are an absolutely spectacular 26-4-1 against the spread with 18 outright wins. So I'm going the Canes pregame +5.5 for a little bit. But if UConn gets the lead and I can do a live bet of getting, Miami in a better number, 9 or 10 or maybe even better, then I would probably double what I have on the Canes pregame.
Okay. All right. So let's go to the first game that'll take place on Saturday night. Florida Atlantic +2 against San Diego State. Your take on that one?
Okay. I'm going to have, so again, money management purposes, I'm going to have, let's say, 2 units on under 132 and then like 1 or 1.5 units on FAU +2. So a little bit more on the under, which is cashed in 12 straight games for San Diego State and is on a 14-1 run in the Aztecs' last 15 games. The under is 5-2 in FAU's last 7 games. 2 of the best defensive teams in the country at Ken Palm. San Diego State ranks 4th nationally in defensive efficiency. They're 2nd in the country at defending the 3-point line. And 8 of their last 9 games have had the following combined scores: 113, 127, 120, 119, 113, 125, 117, and 126. So this is kind of a low total for FAU, but, it's kind of a high total for San Diego State. They've had a lot of totals in the 120s and even low 120s this season. So I'm going with the under. And then FAU, I just think it's a similar matchup for FAU as it had against Tennessee in the Sweet 16 when they won 62-55. Like the Vols, the Aztecs play outstanding physical lockdown defense, but they struggle mightily to get buckets. And I just think FAU has got enough shooters, enough guys that can get their own shot off the dribble. Also, FAU, they lead the field in the NCAA tournament and offensive rebounds. They have 35. They've rebounded 40% of their own misses for 58 second chance points. So that could be a factor as well. I think FAU wins a close, low scoring game.
You like Miami. Just to clarify, you like Miami and you really more like the in-game line, but you like Connecticut, say money line. Is that fair? I'm not putting words in your mouth on that, am I?
Well, like you gave me credit for, I've got both teams at big, long odds. So I'd actually rather Miami win outright. But yeah, no, if the spread was a pick 'em and I had to pick it, I'd probably go with UConn. So I would say the words you're putting in my mouth are accurate.
Okay. So the reason I bring that up, if it is Florida Atlantic and Connecticut on Monday night, let's just say that if it's FAU and Connecticut, what would the spread be and where would you lean with that?
So at FanDuel right now, they have the lines for all four hypothetical matchups. They have UConn minus 6.5 against FAU. It would just kind of depend on, if UConn beats Miami by double digits, I'd probably lean UConn minus 6.5. UConn's also 4.5 to San Diego State. I would definitely be all over UConn in that situation. And the other two are Miami minus 1.5 to FAU. I would like the Canes there. And I don't know why FanDuel does this, but it doesn't have them favored by 1. It has them favored by 1/2 point. Okay. They have San Diego State as a 1/2 point favorite to Miami, and I would like the Canes if that's the situation.
There you go. So a little bit of a breakdown there of some hypotheticals for Monday night from you. Let's go to tonight's game real quick. I kind of challenged people there in the previous segment to name who is actually playing tonight in this NIT final. I don't even know if people can name where the game's actually taking place. I think most people would just say Madison Square Garden. It's actually out in Vegas. But tonight, if you wanted to do a little wager, UAB and North Texas, 9:30 tonight, NIT final. What you got on that one?
Yeah, I'm going to go with UAB minus 2. So these teams have already played 3 times this year. North Texas won both regular season meetings, but when they won in Birmingham, Jelly Walker, UAB's best player, he was out with an injury. He was back when they played at North Texas. UAB lost in overtime by 3, but then they met in the Conference USA Tournament semifinals, and UAB won 76-69. Andy Kennedy's team is 16-2 in its last 18 games. The only losses to FAU and the OT loss at North Texas.
Real quick, I know you didn't really have any play on this, but I texted you and just asked you. South Carolina and Iowa women's game tomorrow night. I believe we said the Gamecocks are about 11.5 point favorite. South Carolina undefeated. I know you haven't done a whole lot of research on this, but I throw it out at you if you had a chance to kind of check it out. Your thoughts on that game, if anybody wanted to weigh in.
So it looks like I texted you that it was 11.5 last night. Looks like most books are at 12 now.
Okay.
The over/under is 149.5. And I know nothing about women's basketball, although I know the Iowa gal, Caitlin Clark, had the first 40-point triple-double in men's or women's NCAA tournament history last week. But that's about all I know, brother.
That's no problem, my man. I'm impressed with the going back to the Fed. We've got it documented right here on Twitter here. I might have to put that out on Twitter and just give you a little more credit because, again, back on February 21st, February 21st, you gave us 3 teams. You said 3 that are worth a shot to win it all. Connecticut at 30-1, Miami to 50-1. You'll have one of those teams on Monday night trying to earn you a little bit of money.
You know what else I had, Gunner? I had Kansas State at 99-1 from mid-December, and I had Creighton at 40-1 from preseason. So I was even in better position in the Elite Eight. But I did, just because I was also taking K-State in the game against FAU. I also bought a 16-1 FAU ticket before they beat K-State, just as a bit of a hedge.
Yeah.
So I've actually got 3 teams, but Miami and UConn are the teams I would obviously prefer winning it at the longer odds.
Well, that was some good calls there, buddy. Always appreciate you stopping by. Look forward to catching up with you next week. Maybe we'll do a few other things and wrap up the college basketball season. All right.
Thanks, brother. Have a good one.
You too. Take care. Brian Edwards of VegasInsider.com. Follow him on Twitter. Vegas B Edwards is the way to do that. And again, yeah, I mean, Connecticut 30-1, Miami 50-1. His third one he sent us back on February 21st at 6:28 a.m. was Providence 100-1. So didn't get that one, but Connecticut and Miami, he'll get one of those in there. 803-404-6100. We'll come back. We'll talk a little South Carolina baseball tonight out at Mississippi State. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Have you missed any of the early game? You can catch up by going to the early game on demand page at 1075thegame.com or by downloading our 1075 The Game app on iTunes or Google Play.
Going to purchase a brand new vehicle, it should be a great experience. It should be exciting. It shouldn't be pressured. You shouldn't be pressured. It shouldn't have tension involved. This should be an exciting experience, whether you're taking your kids with you, whether you're doing it by yourself, maybe you're a first-time car purchaser, whatever it may be, going out and purchasing that brand new vehicle should be a lot of fun. And the folks at Love Chevrolet understand that. It shouldn't be a chore. They have taken care of customers here in the Midlands for 60-plus years because they've done it the right way. They make sure you enjoy the experience. And it's not just purchasing a car. You visit Love Chevrolet, they start you off with a cookie. Like, it doesn't take much, but cookies lead to happy people. Happy people lead to happy purchases. Happy purchases lead to happy lives. You see how that all worked out. Love Chevrolet. Been in business for over 60 years again because they treat you, the customer, the way you should be treated by giving you the largest selection of vehicles anywhere in the Midlands, 14 acres, by offering you a sales staff that is knowledgeable, that is friendly, that is ready to help you, ready to walk around the lot, spend time with you, ready to answer all your questions. And they also offer you the best deals in town, guaranteeing not to sell above MSRP. Also having the $1,000 low price guarantee where you can shop other dealerships, take the deal back to the folks at Love Chevrolet, and they'll top it. Go visit Love Chevrolet, I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park. You can visit them on the web, lovechevy.com. Get out to Love Chevrolet and find new roads.
Waper Incorporated has been providing great service and top-of-the-line equipment for Columbia's janitorial needs for 50 years. Skip Skipper and Jay Coleman at Waper Incorporated offer unbeatable pre-sale and post-sale service for their equipment to achieve the highest level of customer satisfaction in the Midlands. Waper provides in-service equipment training, installation of proportioning systems and hand care systems, along with a full array of janitorial products. Offering next for same-day delivery to the greater Columbia area. Let Waper serve you. Call 803-600-3757 or WaperIncSC.com.
At Kroger, shopping with pickup and delivery is the same as shopping in-store. Same low prices, deals, and rewards on the same high-quality items. It's one small click for groceries, one big win for busy families everywhere. Start your cart today at Kroger.com. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Save big on your favorites with the Buy 5 or More, Save $1 each sale. Simply buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Text entitled with approved credit. Call 888-411-7640 for details. JT's got it. 0% financing for 72 months at Dodgeland. You don't pay any interest on the money you borrow for 6 years. Come to Dodgeland and pick out a new Charger, Challenger, Durango, or Ram. And while JT has slashed the interest to 0%, he's also slashing prices. Like up to $11,000 off on a Ram. Drive for just $349 a month. Rush to Dodgeland on Greystone for 0% financing for 72 months. JT'sDodge.com. Ram Truck Month.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver," unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
If you work with one of South Carolina's 5,700 manufacturing companies, you're part of something really cool. Hey, this thing is cool. Even this HR guy is cool, but he needs help updating his employee training programs. We can help you with that. At SCMEP, we know that manufacturing is complex, and that if one part gets out of step, everything stops. Definitely not cool. We have the resources to help your operations thrive. Now that's cool. Visit scmep.org.
Sponsored by SCMEP.
The all-new Nissan Ariya is a fully loaded EV. It's brimming with style and power,
Up to 389 horses of it.
innovation, and intelligence.
E-Force all-wheel drive.
It'll pin you to your seat.
Your very plush seat.
The all-new, all-electric Nissan Ariya. Nissan Ariya with E-Force expected availability early 2023. E-Force cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. E-Force and 389 horsepower available on Platinum Plus. Nissan calculation using 1-foot rollout testing with long-range battery and E-Force only in Sport mode with E-Step off. These results are for comparison only and should not be attempted on public roads. Drive responsibly. See nissanusa.com for details.
Like any good agent, we're here for the open house, for the closing, for handing over keys. But because we're realtors, we're here for so much more. Agents who are realtors volunteer at nearly 3 times the national average. We're working to broaden access to credit, increase affordable housing supply, and ensure fair housing for all. And realtors are bound by a code of ethics. We're here for it all. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
107.5 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections. South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey everyone, on this Thursday morning, it's time for another First Alert traffic update. As of right now, a seemingly bad crash on I-26 westbound, 1 mile east of exit 97 US 176. All lanes are still being reported blocked as we are going on into this morning. Again, a bad crash on I-26, 1 mile east of exit 97 US 176. All lanes being reported blocked there on I-26 westbound. Please be careful on your travels this morning. That's the only update I have at this time. I'm WIS meteorologist Tony Chiavaroli.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll catch up with Carrie Tharp of Darlington Raceway. We'll make some picks for the Corley Pool Solutions Checkered Flag Challenge. Always enjoy doing that. Right now, I am tied for the lead with Preston Thorne, Reggie Anderson, 1 point behind us. Carrie Tharp is in 4th place and is just 1 point ahead of Jen. So last week,
Tightening up a little bit.
it tightened up significantly last week. So good there as we kind of move forward. 803-404-6100 again tonight. First pitch, 7 o'clock for South Carolina, Mississippi State out in Starkville. You can hear it right here on 107.5. The Game is how you can listen to it. We'll have the pregame show coming up at 6:45 tonight, right here again on 107.5 The Game. Eli Jones will get the start tonight. And excuse me, again, if you've not caught the news, South Carolina, nothing is wrong with Will Sanders. There's not an injury. There's not arm soreness. Nothing going on. South Carolina just electing to hold him out, according to John Whittle, to do more of a reset for him, allow him to kind of mentally get right. And according again to John Whittle of thebigspur.com, Sanders perfectly okay with this. He understands the plan, likes the plan. He will be with the team this weekend and could pitch out of the bullpen. But as of now, Sanders not in the rotation. It'll be Eli Jones again tonight, followed by Noah Hall on Friday night and Jack Mahoney on Saturday. John Whittle does report that Sanders could come back and be in the lineup next Thursday when the Gamecocks host number 1 LSU over at Founders Park. But South Carolina tonight will roll out Eli Jones, who's been very good on the season, by the way, 4-0 again on the season. Opponents batting just 183 against him, 24 strikeouts and 4 walks. Gamecocks pitching depth is nice. I mean, it's right now where I know everybody's kind of hung up on the home runs. And yes, South Carolina's smacking the ball all over the park and putting it out of the park, and it's been fantastic. But the pitching staff, they've stayed healthy. You know, you've gotten to this point with Will Sanders, and that was kind of the one thing you knew to be a certainty. And again, I want to point out that it's not like Sanders has been awful this year. You know, they're trying to get him right and get him going. But Will Sanders is not exactly having an awful year. He's not living up to what we thought he would be. The ERA is what's concerning, 5.17, but he's 2-1 on the season. He's got 37 strikeouts and 12 walks. Again, it's not his – I'm not trying to convince anybody that he's out there just lighting the world on fire. Opponents are batting 248 against him. But you get him right, and you go into these big series coming up against LSU, Vanderbilt, Florida over the next several weeks. Certainly, it makes you feel even better about the direction of this ball club. But again, the Gamecocks tonight, 6:45 first pitch, 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock first pitch as the Gamecocks and Mississippi State will do business out in Starkville. Mississippi State winning their midweek game. They are now 15-11 on the season, but 0-6 in conference play. They've been swept twice there. So South Carolina and Mississippi State, again, tonight out in Starkville. Reminder, tomorrow night's game will be on our sister station, WISW 1320. Pregame for that will be 6:45, 7 o'clock first pitch. And the reason for that, tomorrow night will be Iowa and South Carolina hooking up in the Final Four. It really feels like it's South Carolina versus Caitlin Clark. That's almost the way I feel like this thing is being billed. And if you didn't hear the news,
100%. They started that the day that Carolina hadn't even won the game yet.
Well, and Iowa's a good basketball team, and they're not just, obviously, as Brian Edwards said, 41 points for Caitlin Clark, very impressive. But there are other players on that team. Now, I will say, and Preston and Coach Tony Annan brought this up back in the 6 o'clock hour. There will be South Carolina didn't need anything to provide a chip on their shoulder. Like the women didn't need anything that would maybe fire them up more, but they may have gotten it yesterday when Caitlin Clark is named the Naismith Player of the Year in women's college basketball. She's really good. Let's not put her down and say that she doesn't deserve it, but it's also we can easily in this portion of the world have a debate that it should have been Aaliyah Boston without question. And so if they needed any kind of motivation, if Dawn needed to just throw anything else into the fire just to have Bree Bill ready to defend Caitlin Clark, because that's who we assume will defend her, it would be Caitlin Clark being named Naismith Player of the Year. So good luck to that young lady tomorrow night going against South Carolina. 803-404-6100. When we come back, we'll be joined by Carrie Tharp. It's the Corley Pool Solutions Checkered Flag Challenge. Carrie's making a run. Jen's moving up the list. Preston and I are leading the way, and thankfully we've slowed Reggie Anderson down after an incredibly hot start. You're listening to The Early Game on 107.5 The Game.
Got something to say? Ring us up on the Love Chevy phone line. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. At 803-404-6100. Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by eBay Motors. You do anything to keep your vehicle happy. Let's make sure it stays running smoothly. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, the right parts are just a click away. When you see the green check, you know that part will fit. Get the right parts at the right price. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Oh, you hear me. There's so many great things going on this week. You got a race. You got basketball. You got, well, I mean, you might be going to the Carolina Cup too, and you might be going down to actually do a little grilling and tailgating. Your first stop should be Old Timey Meat Market. That's right. Located at 3 locations, Lexington, South Congaree, and Irmo. Old Timey Meat Market is my go-to regardless of what I'm looking for, whether it's chicken, whether it's steak, whether it's some incredible fish. I always like to get the chicken salad, put it on a little Tostitos chip, do a little hot sauce, delicious little snack. They've got incredible soups. I'm telling you what, you walk in there, if you're not careful, you're going to spend hours just walking around and checking out all the great food they have. Pork chops, I'm telling you what, it is the best, the freshest, and the finest meat anywhere. They use grade A cuts. It is absolutely fantastic. So whether you're looking for beef, pork, poultry, seafood, Old Timey Meat Market is my go-to, and it should be yours as well. It's butchers. It's people who know you by name when you walk in. That's what makes the local butcher shop great. It is a place where they know who you are and they know what you want. And Old Timey Meat Market is exactly that kind of feel from the second you walk in. So go visit them. Again, Lexington, South Congaree, or Irmo. Those are the 3 locations you can go and check out. You won't be disappointed. Trust me, it's like a kid in a candy store every time I go to Old Timey Meat Market. I love going there. I know it'll be on my list of things. I can go ahead and tell you what I'm going to get for this weekend. Oysters. That's right. We're going to do a little oysters for the Final Four on Saturday night. Go visit Old Timey Meat Market today and check out all the great selection of meats they have.
Do you know about PrEP? PrEP is a medicine taken to prevent HIV. April 10th is National Youth HIV/AIDS Awareness Day and is an annual opportunity to help reduce HIV among young people by promoting HIV awareness, prevention, and testing. To learn more about how PrEP can help you prevent infection, visit scdhack.gov/PrEP. Let's talk about PrEP and get tested.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Hey, y'all, Jay Phillips here from my good friends at Dan's Fan City in Harbison. Ceiling fans don't sound like something you think about a lot because you don't really need to, but when you've got good ones, they work so well, keeping energy costs down and your comfort level up. All kinds of fans at Dan's Fan City, big to small and quiet. Quality fans. They have accessories and light kits, fan blades, and more. Stop by and see them soon. Harbison Boulevard next to Total Wine, or call Dan's Fan City 781-FANS. You'll be glad you did.
Get ready for the madness of March with Zerust Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Right now, mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $119. Book online at ZerustColumbia.com.
Managing your online presence takes time, effort, and expertise. It can overwhelm even the savviest business owner. So, meet Cumulus Boost. We're experts at boosting the online presence for businesses of every type. We make sure potential customers can easily find you and really like what they find. Your website, online listings, consumer reviews, and more. Cumulus Boost. Online at cumulusboost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey everyone, on this Thursday morning, it's time for another First Alert traffic update. As of right now, a seemingly bad crash on I-26 westbound, 1 mile east of exit 97 US 176. All lanes are still being reported blocked as we are going on into this morning. Again, a bad crash on I-26, 1 mile east of exit 97 US 176. All lanes being reported blocked there on I-26 westbound. Please be careful on your travels this morning. That's the only update I have at this time. I'm WIS meteorologist Tony Chiavaroli.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified, Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence, knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The early game
with Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen
on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Oh, I will admit when I'm winning, this is my favorite time of the week. Favorite segment. Joined now.
Can just I'll put Carrie up so he can certainly comment. But it's funny, like in the brackets for the NCAA tournament.
I hadn't mentioned that a time this week, have we?
Not mentioned that at all. And let's see, Bill ended up in our little bracket contest. He ended up 59th. I ended up 25th. We have not mentioned that.
Not once.
Once. And I just don't understand why. I guess it has something to do with the fact that he didn't win. The only thing I can come up with.
Do you really not understand why?
Yeah, right. I know.
Carrie, do you understand why that's not been brought up at all this week?
Well, because you finished 59th, and somebody said that there was only 56 inches.
Right.
So
Exactly.
I don't know where you feel there, but I tell you, the way that this tournament has gone on the men's side has been just, it's unpredictable as I've ever seen. And you look at who's in the Final Four. Florida Atlantic, San Diego State. One of those teams is going to be in the finals Monday night. That's mind-boggling.
Yeah, it's incredible, and I think the people who are actually below me in our contest didn't finish filling out their bracket. They got distracted.
I'm pretty sure. Yep.
So I have a date with the wheel of misfortune behind me here coming up either tomorrow or Monday that I'm looking forward to. There is a more important date. Let's focus on the good stuff, Jen, not on my shortcomings as it pertains to.
You just set that up for me to just.
I know.
Spike, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. I try to be nice sometimes. Yep.
45 days.
Carrie, how is it
right.
going? Yeah, you guys, we are not far away. We've been talking about the Carolina Cup this week in horse racing, but some NASCAR racing is about 45 days away.
Boy, it is, and we're excited. A lot of momentum surrounding our throwback weekend, and getting ready to turn that calendar again. It's going to be April here on Saturday, and it's exciting to know that we're going to be celebrating the past, present, and future of the sport here. Our throwback weekend. It's going to be such a big event for the 75th anniversary of NASCAR, and so cool that we're going to be able to honor and recognize those that are still with us amongst the 75 greatest. That is going to be just something that our fans will not want to miss.
Yeah, the Goodyear 400, as I look at it, 45 days, 6 hours, 9 minutes, and 13 seconds away as we count down. I know we always ask you this, but the track, how is it looking? I don't think you've done any major changes from the last year, but how are things kind of progressing down there?
Well, the track surface is going to be as good as it's ever been, and it's always such a challenge for the drivers to race out there on the track at Darlington. We have made some improvements in the Pearson grandstands. We took out the old metal seats that had been there for years and years and put in brand new stadium style seats with cup holders and armrests. And,
love that.
Really, really makes a big difference. In fact, they are going to officially finish that project probably next Monday or Tuesday. And I've been up there many times, and it's such an improvement for our fans. That's a great place to sit. You can see, obviously, the whole track, but, there's so much action there in turn 4 as they come down the front stretch or turn into the front stretch. And so that's probably the biggest improvement and addition that we've made during the off season. And I think it's really going to help the fan experience.
Jen, you've had a chance to go there several times. I think you're big on where is it that you like to sit that is your favorite there?
I've actually sat in a couple of places. I've been in
That's
like the Braslington Suites and things like that. Yeah. It didn't stink. I sat in some other suite, like right behind the pits. That was pretty cool. That's not a typical thing for me. So that was fun at Mother's Day last year. But there's not a bad seat in the house. I mean, it's a great place to watch a race.
Tickets are on. Tickets
I
are.
agree.
Yeah,
100%.
people can go and buy tickets. Go to darlingtonraceway.com. You can click on buy tickets. Tickets start at $50 for adults, $10 for kids 12 and under. There's so much going on. That's for the Sunday tickets, but the NASCAR Xfinity Series will be Saturday. Tickets at $35 for adults. General admission youth tickets are free, and $15 for reserved grandstands. And Carrie, I got to ask you, what do you know? Because we've been talking about tailgating for the Carolina Cup. You get the people who bring, like Patrick and his family went down there last year with the RV to get set up. What do you know about a traditional English breakfast?
Well, it sounds like maybe some tea and some crumpets, something like that. I can tell you now, you know, you talk about the Cup. I've never been. It sounds like a fantastic event. And certainly I've been to many, many college football games. But the difference at Darlington is that the Cup or college football game may be a 3 or 4 hour tailgate. At Darlington, it's a 3 or 4 day tailgate.
That's right.
And so, you know, you got to build up your stamina to take in everything. And our campground's open on Tuesday of race week, and so, you know, we'll start getting fans coming on property that day, and you know, it's all kinds of things. All kinds of people come in from all over and tailgate. I'm sure that at some point in the infield there is some type of English breakfast, but I haven't really seen it. Usually I see, you know, ham and eggs and bacon and Krispy Kreme donuts and things of that nature, but I'm sure that there's an English breakfast or two on property at some point.
Yeah, it's there's a lot to it. It's the black pudding that sounded awful off air with Tony
And
Annan.
the beans don't sound much better.
We will,
so.
we will not tell you what that is. All right, it's the Corley Pool Solutions Checkered Flag Challenge, sponsored by Corley Pool Solutions. We got the incredible trophy that's around that Jen designed. It's got names on it. Looks fantastic. Corley Pool Solutions, again, the official sponsor of the Checkered Flag Challenge. Corley Pool Solutions believes in providing the absolute highest quality swimming pool service at the most affordable price to you and your family. They will maintain your pool for a flat rate fee. Give them a phone call today, 803-445-8109. Thank you, as always, to Corley Pool Solutions for sponsoring the Checkered Flag Challenge. It's time to make some picks. Carrie, Jen made a move last week. She's cut into it. She's still last, but she's only 1 point behind you for fourth. She's only 7 points behind Preston and I. So a win this week would vault her well up into maybe second, third place, depending on how some other things go.
Very possible.
We are in Richmond this weekend. What direction are you going, Jennifer Jensen?
I am going to go with Christopher Bell.
That's a good. I debated that. I went outside of my comfort zone last week with Austin Cindric, and it brought me something nice. You're going Christopher Bell. I thought about that. I'll give you kudos. Carrie, it's not good to be picking second. That means you are currently running fourth in our race. 16 points total for you. By the way, Jen got hot after a bad start. Jen had just 5 points after 3 weeks. She's doubled that point total in the last 3 weeks with 10. You've been steady Eddie. You had 9 the first 3 weeks. You had 7 the last. Where are you going?
Well, I'm going to go with a guy, I believe he won the race back there last year. I'm going to go with Kevin Harvick. I think the number 4 gets a win and punches his ticket into the playoffs, and this is final season.
He was in my top 3.
That's good.
Yep.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good pick. That's an awful pick, actually. Reggie, do we have Reggie's pick?
We do not. So we will go to we'll go to you since you're here.
That's right. That's right. Well, give me, you know what? I like my guy this week. I've tried to do better. I've tried to not just stick with Denny Hamlin each and every week, but I like Denny Hamlin this week. He's been very good on these short tracks. The first of 3 straight races on short tracks. Give me Denny Hamlin this week. I'm going Hamlin to bring home the checkered flag.
Sounds good.
All right.
Looks good. We'll see what happens.
Carrie, we always enjoy our time with you. I hope you keep Jen down there on the list in last place.
I sure will. You guys have a great one.
You
Take
too,
care.
Carrie.
Always fun. Tomorrow morning, we'll be back. We'll get you ready for South Carolina, Iowa. We'll talk a little baseball. We'll recap Major League Baseball opening day. Yeah, that's happening today. Good job, Jen. Way to go.
Appreciate that.
We're out. Later.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Gamecock quarterback Spencer Rattler, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game, the home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
The Eagles, Hotel California.
Good day to everybody. Y'all take care. We will see you tomorrow. We're out.